Your screen stampede occurred at the RCB victory parade. 4 dead and 10 have been injured in the victory parade stampede. There has been a stampede. That's what after the fabulous victory. Tragedy, tragic news coming in. 4 dead and 10 injured in the RCB victory parade. That's the news flashing on your screens despite all the arrangements being made. Tragedy has occurred in Bengaluru. 4 dead and 10 injured in the RCB victory parade stampede. That's the breaking news for those who just joined the broadcast. Tragedy. 4 dead and 10 injured in RCB victory parade stampede. Even as the victory parade was getting off the ground, there was a tragedy which occurred. There was a huge stampede which resulted in the death of 4 people and several who have been injured. At least 20 people, and now it's been updated. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 fatalities, 5 dead and 20 injured in the RCB victory parade. A stampede which has resulted in this tragedy. I mean, what a tragedy this is after news that made all of us very proud and happy. This is the news which is coming in. Stampede occurred, and we'll get you all the details in a bit. And meanwhile, let me go across to our expert Venkat Sundaram for more on this. Mr. Sundaram, what a tragedy this is. I mean, look at this, 5 dead and 20 injured, Mr. Sundaram. And we were just going to start the celebrations and Bengaluru being painted red, but this is really terrible. 5 dead, 20 injured in a stampede. Venkat Sundaram, former Indian cricketer and former chairperson, Pitch Committee, BCCI.
Hi, good evening, and nice to be here. But this is really tragic news. These fans are really the supporters of the game. They are very enthusiastic and in high spirits, I must say. Huge crowds have turned up, and the police seems to be, at its wits' end on how to manage those crowd. It's not surprising there's been a stampede, and the team has arrived in Bangalore. They met the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, and they're on a motorcade. On a bus ride to the stadium, and luckily they're holding it at the stadium because the stadium is huge and can accommodate a lot of people. But obviously the spectators and the friends and the fans have gone a little overboard, and the administration has crumbled in presence of such a huge crowd and such a huge turnout. I can understand there are emotions. Recently in football and soccer, we saw in Liverpool a similar thing happened. And I think 15, 20 people were run over by a car and things like that. Well, that was a different issue altogether in England. But here, this is very sad. It is very unfortunate. And the police can only do so much. I think some civil sense should have, dawned on these spectators and fans. And they should have, been a little more circumspect in their enthusiasm and to greet the winners. But it has really turned into a tragedy, and it is unfortunate that these stampedes are becoming regular, whether it's in our temples, on our cricket grounds, or wherever you see there's a huge crowd and the police are outnumbered usually, and one person breaks the queue or the line, and then all hell breaks through. We even saw it at the unfortunately in Allahabad during the festivities there. So I think this is something which needs to be handled in a different manner. Obviously, the time was very limited. The match finished late last night, and the team has flown in this morning, and suddenly, they're being invited for a civic reception, and here is what happens. So it is very unfortunate and most unexpected.
Venkat Sundaram, please do stay online, stay on the broadcast, because let me just tell everybody who's just joined us on the broadcast, 4 dead, ladies and gentlemen. It's been updated. Instead of 5, it's 4 dead and 20 injured. Stampede occurs at the RCB civic reception celebrations, and you see live visuals on your screen. People running helter-skelter, much like what Venkat Sundaram said. This is very unfortunate. Lot of enthusiasm, lot of happiness, lot of thrill, lot of pride, I guess, in Bangaloreans, because this trophy comes home, or rather in their arms, in their palms, after 18 long years, and they were celebrating the whole night. Bengaluru reverberated with slogans and celebratory kind of chants. But then ultimately there is a tragic news here. 4 dead and 20 injured. We do not know the exact reasons and the locations as of now, but yes, the overall reason being a stampede occurred, and you can see people running around, you can see police vehicles, and also I'm sure medical help will arrive sooner rather than later. There was of course Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, who was with the victorious team. He met with Captain Virat Kohli, and these are the live visuals yet again. Look at that crowds which was milling around. You can still see some people holding the RCB flags in their hands. Look at that. There are just, it's like people packed as sardines, you know. Lot of people, lot of crowd. They thought this is their chance to see the victorious team who got their pride back. RCB fans who came here to felicitate the heroes, as it were, and a stampede occurred, leading to 4 people dead and 20 injured. There you see the police trying to manage. Lot of police bandobast, of course, because a lot of other celebrations were cancelled, as we are hearing just now. But then this civic reception was organized, and it was more of a felicitation from the government of Karnataka for RCB players. But this ended up in a tragedy right now, even as we were just going to cut live into the scenes of celebratory marches. But then we'll have to, due to this tragic reason, stay on this. A tragedy occurs, 4 people dead, 20 people injured. Police trying to help those who may have fallen due to the stampede. Those are the visuals. Watch the visuals and I come back to you. All right, look at those visuals on your screens. A celebration which has now turned into a bit of a tragedy. 4 people dead, 20 people injured. A stampede occurs even as there was a civic reception celebration in Bengaluru, and you can see policemen on the screen trying to perhaps revive a person who may have fallen, who may have fainted because of the stampede, because of the crowds milling around him. I have Venkat Sundaram with me, who is a former Indian cricketer and former chairperson, pitch committee, BCCI. You know, it's very easy, Mr. Sundaram, sometimes to blame the police and others. Oh, I've got my colleague, Mr. Sundaram, I'll come back to you. I've got my colleague, Mohammad Wajiullah. Waji, what a tragedy this is, even as you have reported the entire night and spoken about the celebrations and the chants saying that this cup is ours. Look at this.
Absolutely, Sisa. This is really unfortunate that we are seeing the city celebrating. We have an incident like this that has caused a lot of we gathered here. There are lakhs of people. We've seen a score of massive people that have gathered here. The lakhs of them, lakhs of them have gathered here at Bengaluru, at Vedanta, at Chinnaswamy Stadium, at these places where it is.
An audio issue with my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah, but he said lakhs of people had gathered at Vedana Sauda at Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Can you hear me? I am back.
Go on, Waji, go on.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, there are lakhs of people that are trying to get their way to the Vedanta, to the Chinnaswamy Stadium, all trying to get a glimpse. And in the midst of all this, we have a tragedy like this because While I was reporting from top of the bus, we had seen a sequence at gate number I-17, I believe, where we've also sent footages of a mild lathi charge that took place. The policeman had moved out from the gate and everyone started rushing towards the gate. It was like a stampede-like situation, and we were seeing many such small stampede-like situations at various points. From what we learned so far, that 2,000 police people have been deployed by the Karnataka police. The Home Minister had said beforehand itself that an open bus rally would be very difficult, as it's not easy crowd that will be gathered, and it is not easy to manage the crowd because there are lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of people. I have seen footages, I have seen visuals where the cop had tried to hit the person with the lathi charge, people who had the lathi and started dancing with that lathi. So there is a mood of jubilance in the midst of all this. One has to understand the responsibility, to celebrate its responsibility to make sure that incidents like this should not happen. There are unconfirmed reports that the number could go up to 5, but so far we only know about 4 people. But a tragedy at the end of the day is a tragedy, even if it comes at the cost of a real victory.
Something earlier, there were more functions which were organized, right? And you were the one to first break it that a lot of other functions have been cancelled precisely because of what has happened. Take the viewers through as to what all was cancelled.
So there was a lot of plans with regards to this. The initial plan was that the team would arrive at the airport. From the airport, they would go to the hotel, then come to Vidana Sauda, where they would meet the Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister. There they would be felicitated at the footholds of the stadium, at the Vidana Sauda, at the footsteps of the Vidana Sauda, where the public view also would be there, after which we were supposed to have a rally. But now there is a range. Some of the plans are still going as it is planned, because we just saw the bus enter Vidana Sauda a few minutes back. So that means when the players arrive, they would be able to go from Vidana Sauda to Chinnaswamy Stadium in the same bus. But from what we've also learned is that while they were coming back from the airport, there is a huge crowd from the stadium to the way in the Chinnaswamy Stadium, and at every stop the bus is getting slowed down. So there is a delay in the program. The program might go on for a very long time, but celebrations will continue on. You have lakhs of people on the road as I speak. I am seeing them. They are all cheering for RCB, and it is a sight that no Bengalurian will forget.
But I lost you in between. Are you saying that the function will go on? Will it continue as is?
Yes, as the so far that we have is that it will go as per plan. There are fans who have entered the Chinnaswamy Stadium. The bus that was supposed to get the players from Vidana Sauda to Chinnaswamy Stadium is also gone inside the Vidana Sauda. And arrangements are going on as we speak. So from what it looks like, there is no plan of any cancellation of any of the events.
Any cancellation, says Mohammad Wajiullah, but the breaking news is 7 dead. Instead of 4 that we were telling you, the number has gone up. Ladies and gentlemen, tragedy occurs on the day that Bengaluru is celebrating the fabulous victory of RCB. A stampede occurs. People start running helter-skelter. The police allegedly resorts to lathi charge. 7 people are dead and 20 injured in the stampede. We will have to wait and see if the civic function will go on as scheduled. But as of now, a time to mourn in the midst of celebration, in the midst of a fabulous victory by RCB. After 18 long years, they clinched the title. But then with that comes sorrow. 7 dead and 20 injured in the stampede. People who had come to raise their salutations, to say thank you to their heroes. Some of them lie dead there on the streets of Bengaluru, in Vidana Sauda and in and around Vidana Sauda, in and around Chinnaswamy Stadium. They all wanted to meet the heroes who made them proud last night, and the celebrations for which continued late last night in Bengaluru, with chants renting the air about RCB bringing them pride. But then with the pride comes tragedy. 7 dead, 20 injured in the RCB victory parade. And my colleague Gautam Shankar joins us to talk more about this tragedy which has occurred from Bengaluru. Gautam, what a tragedy. And let me say and ask you, this despite the government and the authorities making all the arrangements, they were super cautious, weren't they, Gautam?
Absolutely, Sudha, because keep in mind there was a lot of doubts about whether a road show should happen here. The victory parade of the RCB. There was always a lot of security concerns, and there are about 5,000 police personnel that have been deployed here just to keep a check on this overcrowding and stampede-like situation. But you can see amidst the sort of euphoria of having won the IPL trophy after a gap of 18 years, the team that has never won, the crowds are over ecstatic, and they have been waiting for this. And keep in mind, we are bang in the middle of a weekday, and still there are thousands and thousands of fans that have been storming in, and the police were really struggling to control the crowd, and they tried to streamline and they tried to delay as much as possible. But despite that, we are seeing the kind of visual that we are seeing on the screens right now, where the police were forced to lathi charge to disperse the crowd. Now, even among the people who were injured here, the police, that particular visual that you can see on the screen right now, that is the police actually helping the victims, trying to get them into their Hoysala jeep and shifting them to the hospital as well. The police on their part have done all that they can, but it is an extremely big tragedy that multiple lives have been lost. The numbers we will confirm very shortly, but it does appear that at least a woman and a child have died, and this could really cast a pall of gloom over the celebrations. And it's really it will be really interesting to see whether the celebrations do happen right now or not, given the kind of magnitude of tragedy that we have witnessed here. Now, what I understand is that DK Shivkumar has also spoken about the incident. So the Deputy CM has been made aware of this tragedy that has happened, and he is currently going to the stadium, and he said that there were a lot of emotional fans, and over 5,000 police people were deployed. But despite that, this kind of situation has taken place, and what we understand is that the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar is now en route to Chinnaswamy Stadium to assess what's really happening, and a call is going to be taken soon on whether they're going to continue with the felicitation program for the RCB team. And because keep in mind the kind of tragedy that we have witnessed here, whether a celebration is the right thing to do amidst all of this is something that they have to keep in mind, the sensitivity of the situation as well.
Absolutely, and I think that the team, one shall wait for the team to decide what it wants to do. But I'm sure the team will also not be in the mood now, considering they have won, they have clinched the cup. But then amidst tragedy, I want to ask you that, there are reports coming in that some of the patients or those injured or those who apparently, allegedly have lost their lives were taken to Vaidehi Hospital and also Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital. Is that right? Are these the hospitals in and around the area where the stampede occurred, Gautam Shankar?
Yes, the Bowring Hospital is where at least 11 people have been shifted there, and 9 others have been shifted to Lady Curzon Hospital is what we understand. And there are at least 5 people that we understand whose condition is currently very serious, and they are in a critical condition. And what we also see here is that already the BJP has reacted on the situation as well, saying that this event that has been organized by the Karnataka state government, this whole campaign is pretty poorly planned, and the crowd management has also been very poor as well. The BJP on their part have confirmed that the 7 people have died, 16 injured as well. They're saying that this heartbreaking incident could have been avoided. The lack of basic administrative foresight and failure in crowd control by the state government has led to this sort of irreparable loss, is the statement that has been made by the BJP following this tragedy that we've just witnessed, Sudha. But keep in mind that the celebrations were set to start at around 6 p.m. But right now, I'm not sure if the players have been made aware of this situation. And once it really has to be their call, isn't it? Because They know the kind of sentiments that have been running high. We saw the kind of celebrations yesterday as well. Stampede-like situation, even though the match was played in Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, but there was absolutely euphoria. The match got over around 11:30 a.m., 11:30 p.m. last night. But we saw the fans were out until 3, 4 a.m. and they had also requested CM Siddaramaiah for a weekday off today as well. But given the kind of crowd that we've seen there, it does seem like the police the numbers were really not enough. There really needed to be a lot bigger administrative force there, and the security personnel have been unable to control. You can see on the visuals, the people were actually climbing on top of the wall. Keep in mind that the entry is restricted to only people who will have passes to get in. But the police at one stage saw the kind of overcrowding that was happening, and they decided to let all of them in. That is the kind of crowd that we witnessed in there as well. And we can also see some bodies being shifted. And amidst all of this, it really one has to ask the question, why couldn't the Karnataka government really do better arrangement? Because you knew whether it is a weekday or a weekend, and whether you allow the bus parade to happen or not. This is the kind of fandom that this franchise gets, and people have come not just from Bangalore. Since yesterday, what I've been hearing is that people have been coming from as far as Hubli, Belgavi, Mangalore, and northern districts, Bidar, Kalburgi as well. So fans have been pouring. It's not just a question of people from Bangalore coming here. People are coming here from across several districts in Karnataka, and despite that, it does seem like the police on their part have tried to do the best that they can, but it seems like they were overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the fans that have gathered at the Chinnaswamy Stadium.
My colleague who was describing the tragedy which has occurred during the RCB's victory lap, as it were, for lack of any other word, a civic function where they were being felicitated by the government of Karnataka. Deputy Minister D.K. Shivakumar, who was there to receive the captain of the team, Virat Kohli. But then it ended up in a tragedy. A stampede occurred at the site of the celebratory parade site in and around Vidhana Saudha, in and around Chinnaswamy Stadium. So far we are getting news that 7 dead and 20 have been injured. They have been taken to several hospitals. Those who are injured and those who are in a very precarious situation also taken to hospitals like Vaidehi hospitals, Bowring Hospital, and some of them, succumb to their injuries there, whereas others are undergoing treatment. 7 dead, 20 injured. You see this lots of crowds which had now gathered after the fabulous victory of RCB last night after 18 long years, when the team lifted the trophy, and in Ahmedabad at the Narendra Modi Stadium today, Bengaluru just could not keep calm, awaiting heroes' return so that they could tip their hat to the heroes who brought the glory back to RCB. But then we saw what really happened. The tragedy which occurred, leading to 7 dead. We still cannot ascertain the age and the gender of those who've lost their lives. Now there has been an update. There has been breaking news. Instead of 7, unfortunately, it has gone up. 8 dead and 20 plus injured in the RCB victory parade stampede. And meanwhile, of course, there has been political slugfest on this as well. The BJP has reacted. The first reaction coming, saying no crowd control, no basic arrangements, just chaos. While innocent people died, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar were busy shooting reels and hogging limelight with cricketers. Shame on this photo of Congress government. This is criminal negligence. Blood on the hands of the government. Let's now go to the breaking news on your screens right now. That's what the BJP is saying. This is criminal negligence. After 8 have been reported dead and more than 20 people injured in the stampede which occurred at the RCB celebratory parade, BJP has hit out at the Siddaramaiah government and said they have blood on their hands. They also accused both Siddaramaiah as well as D.K. Shivakumar of shooting reels and also hobnobbing with cricketers and saying that no arrangements were made. They have blood on their hands, no crowd control measures were taken. This is the opposition BJP which is levelling charges against the ruling dispensation in Karnataka, that is the Siddaramaiah government. Ladies and gentlemen, those who have just joined us, even as the entire nation was getting ready to celebrate and felicitate the heroes of RCB, tragedy occurs and now 8 have been dead and more than 20 people injured in the stampede which occurred at the celebratory parade in Bengaluru. On your screens, you see how the BJP, the main opposition BJP in Karnataka, has alleged that this is criminal negligence on the part of the ruling dispensation, the Siddaramaiah-led government. They said no proper crowd management or arrangement was done, accuses Congress government of criminal negligence. The celebratory function has turned into one of tragedy. You can hear more of sirens of the ambulance than cheers in the crowd. People panicking, people now wondering what to do. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah is back with us. Waji, you know, I really doubt, with 8 dead and 20 plus people injured and lots of them being, you know, hospitalized at Vaidehi Hospital and Bowring Hospital and Lady Curzon Hospital, whether the function will go on as scheduled. What are you picking up on the ground? Is DKS taking stock of the situation? What is really going on there, Wajiullah?
Well, as of now, we've learned that the Chief Minister will be visiting the Bowring Hospital to see the number of people who have died and the injured who have reached the Bowring Hospital. 20 people are injured in this entire incident, and unfortunately, seriously, unfortunately, 7 people have died so far. One of our colleagues who's at the Bowring Hospital just told us then 11 people had just come through the ambulance, out of which 2 of them were dead bodies. So what we are listening is a very shocking turn of events at the celebrations of the RCB. The Home Minister had warned beforehand itself that handling the crowd won't be easy. Lakhs of people have gathered here. These footages that we are seeing on our screen was taken when our bus was going past the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And this is the spot where one of the officers had just moved on the left to make sure that the crowd stands in the line, and that is when a few group of people saw this as an opportunity.
Stay with us. I also have Bhaskar Rao, who's of course a former policeman, a very senior police official, and now with the Bharatiya Janata Party. He's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Rao, what a tragedy this is, even as the entire city, you know, erupted in celebration. 8 dead and more than 20 people injured. Mr. Rao, before we start apportioning blame, where do you think, you know, stampedes occur when there is more crowd than expected, but what is your reading, Mr. Bhaskar Rao?
Government was too quick to celebrate and did not allow the idea of victory to sink in. People are still in the stupor of victory, and the excitement had not died down. So it has only added to this, and there is no time for police to make any adequate bandobast. Look at the amount of tragedy that has taken place in the time of celebration. Sometimes you have to give some time, then allow celebration, not instantly celebrate and cause such kind of. Let us wait. I hope some organization falls in place and those people who are there are escorted to safety. So many women, children, senior citizens, everybody have gathered. Absolutely no planning and great hurry and burden on the police to organize this over that.
But it is also, Mr. Rao, you know, a lot of other ceremonies were also planned which were all shelved, precisely for the reason that perhaps, you know, a road show, Bengaluru cannot take a road show as of now.
No, it is only to celebrate. See, just yesterday night, even you will be surprised that today morning celebrations will going on till 6:30 in the morning, people waving RCB. So you should understand that the people are still in a very highly excited mood. And then again calling a celebration with open bus, etc., with poor medical facilities is a very shoddy preparation at the topmost level. The Home Minister should answer Why he allowed such kind of program to take place without adequate preparations over there? They have just dumped it on the police to somehow manage the whole thing. And look at the tragedy that has taken place. Who is responsible? The Chief Minister and Home Minister are the only ones responsible for this tragedy that has taken place. What was a great victory and happiness yesterday night has become a big tragedy today afternoon.
You know, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, you said they should have waited because people were still in that euphoric situation. They were very, very like stupor is the word that you use. What would that have done? Do you think that would have made the crowds less excitable? Because excited crowds usually run and try to nudge each other like it happens in many temples, trying to get a glimpse of God. Here also they were going to get a glimpse of God.
There is no need for government to rush into a celebration.
Okay,
People were already in a celebratory mood. Somehow government thought we also should do something, and they organized this without any kind of prior planning with them. No prior planning of what should be done. Why they should do this when already people were celebrating? What did the government want to prove by saying that we also want to celebrate? People were already celebrating. It should have died down, and then what recognition, etc. they want to give to RCB. You ask anybody who was it? Players were themselves tired. People just were sighing with relief that let this get over and then start celebration. World over, when we come back from an Olympics victory or any other victory, after a gap of some few days, we do the celebration.
Yeah, that's
Not
a point.
Instantly and continuous. See,
That's a point. That's a point.
What is
made
an
by-
unfortunate thing?
Yes.
So much of
All right.
joy and happiness has now got converted into complete tragedy.
All right,
now.
Mr. Bhaskar Rao.
This is
that
nothing but-
Yeah. So I also have Satya Prakash, KPCC spokesperson, on the phone line. What a tragedy this is, Satya. After all of us were celebrating in Bengaluru, Bhaskar Rao was just with us. What is the hurry? We could have waited for 2-3 days and perhaps then had it. Asking the police to manage this and something which has ended 8 dead and 20 plus injured, Satya Prakash?
See, first of all, Sudha, I will not play politics on this tragedy. Okay. Second thing is, please look at all the BJP leaders' tweets from morning. They are keeping on putting pressure on the government that the government can't hold a victory march for RCB. Look at the tweets of Bangalore MP, Mr. P.C. Mohan. What he has tweeted.
You will not go
He
by
has questioned
tweets,
the
no, Satya
government.
Prakash. You will go by the bandobast that you have.
I'm answering Mr. Rao.
Sure, Satya.
Who belongs to BJP. I'm answering Mr. Bhaskar Rao because his own party's MPs, his own party's officials, office bearers requested the government that they should hold. But still, the government did a very good thing. They can more or less cancelled the whole open bus trip. I think a problem has happened at the doorstep. In within Sinnaswamy Stadium near the gate.
What happened, Satya? What are you hearing? I mean, what is the government saying?
See, actually, I'm traveling. I'm
Okay.
also getting news, on the
Okay.
on the go. What information I have got is near one of the gate, lot of rush happened. Okay. And पीछे से थोड़ा धक्का देके थोड़ा people fell down and the people, there was a stampede. That's what I have.
Classic
My
stampede
information-
situation. Yes.
Yeah, stampede situation. But still there are nearly 35-40,000 people inside the stadium. You understand?
Yeah.
The process is on. The victory celebrations is on. But this one untoward incident has happened.
But are you going to go? The government is going to go through with the victory celebrations?
I think the news that I am getting is the celebrations are on. Is what I am getting.
Oh,
Maybe they don't know what has happened outside. These are all, news which is just flowing in the last 5-10
right. But
minutes.
because I'm surprised that after a tragedy, the celebrations are on. But,
The problem is, Sudha, Sudha, the problem is 45,000 people are inside, Sudha. If you do anything, if any panic happens, there will be more chaos. Please understand.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Please
That
understand.
was,
Look at it at
yeah.
the holistic way,
Yeah.
Yes, my heart goes out to all the families of those who are injured and where we have lost lives. But we don't know how many lives are lost. 3, 4, I don't know. Still, there is no official confirmation. But government has done all it can, and it will do also in future because
Yes.
after the function, nearly 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 40,000 people have to come out. If there is some panic, just look at what will. There will be much more, serious accidents.
I know, but then,
incidents.
you're absolutely making a point that there'll be panic, there'll be anxiety, people will rush out, and that should not happen. You're absolutely right. But the point is that did the government, Professor Chambi Puranik is also with her, senior political analyst. Professor, do you think that the government could have waited, for 2 days or 3 days before they started this celebratory parade. You know, it is such a tragedy, Professor. 8 people dead and 20 or more people injured, Professor Puranik.
Sudha, my heart and prayers, they go for the families which have lost their precious lives, about 8 to 9. But this is not the way that a victory celebration or a function or this kind of admiration for the team after having waited for 18 years. I don't know why they rushed in such a way. Probably, they are all emotionally charged. And I think the crowd itself, is surging, from afternoon 1 o'clock onwards, the people are there near the airport. So thank God they cancelled that airport procession in the bus. That's one thing. Second thing is, they have not been able to manage the crowd within the Chinnaswamy Stadium, which can accommodate about 40 to 50,000.
I think we've lost the connection to Professor Puranik. I hope to get him back. But Anand Gurumurthy of the BJP in Karnataka is also joining us. Anand, what a tragedy this is. I think the country should be together in mourning the loss of those 8 people who had gathered, who were there at Chinnaswamy Stadium to tip their hats to the victorious team of RCB, and more than 20 people injured. Anand Gurumurthy, I think this is a tragedy amid celebration.
Yes, this is a very sad day. Yesterday, it was like after 18 years of wait, RCB won the cup, and people were in a jubilant mode. But this clearly shows that the whatever we have been telling, Bharatiya Janata Party as the principal opposition has been telling from last 2 years to improve on the law and order and the intelligence-related situation in Karnataka. The Siddaramaiah government and Parmeshwar as the Home Minister, they have not, heard us. We have been telling this in Assembly and in the upper house also. They have never heard us. They have always ridiculed the BJP, saying that we know our job, we have 130-40 seats. But look at the tragedy that happened today because of their neglect. The way they, neglected the situation, and now we are seeing such a tragedy, young lives going away like this. I think this is one of the saddest things that is happening in Karnataka, and we have been telling, about this from day one. And at least now they should, wake up from their slumber and start fixing the issues that we are seeing on a daily basis in Bangalore and Karnataka.
But this is a tragedy. What I'm hearing is that it occurred in one of the gates, near one of the gates in Chinnaswamy Stadium. Almost 45,000 people had gathered there. I mean, do you think it's more of a law and order problem than it is a crowd management problem, which can occur like it happened in Tirupati, in the recent past, where people rushed, one rushed, the other fell on that person, and that led to a stampede. Anand Gurumurthy.
See, I will tell you one thing. Okay, if you improve the intelligence network, okay, if you have correct intelligence of how many people have gathered and how you are, going to process the gathering, okay, these kind of things should not occur. See, this is something known, that RCB winning and the kind of crowd management they do for all the matches. This is a known fact, and it is expected that during a jubilant celebration or during the New Year celebration, there are more number of people, gathering 5x, 6x of the people of, what is expected. Now, what are the kind of arrangements that the government should do? What is the kind of, proactive steps the police should take?
Okay.
All these things have to be decided. It is not that, call people and then randomly select locations like Vidhan Soda, come here, come there.
Right, but
so
I guess
people also get confused.
Yeah,
all these kind of confusions is being created by the state government, the ministers, which is very wrong. They should not create confusions. They should have proper channelization.
But Anand Gurumurthy, I think as somebody who is a Bangalorean, I think this is the time to mourn, and I'm sure that none of the political parties will make, a political issue of this entire thing. Thank you so much. As of now, I'm not letting you go because I'm slipping into a short break. And after that, we shall continue our coverage on this tragedy amidst celebratory parade during the RCB victorious march.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
he plainly tried to internationalize the Kashmir issue.
We know as a matter of fact that it was Pakistan that ran to America.
West seems to disregard anything that doesn't affect it directly.
Donald Trump is trying to tell the world that I am the savior.
He has no business of speaking about Kashmir. There's a Russian reality, there's an American reality, but I suppose there is also an Indian reality.
Pakistan will test you time and again on this particular issue.
We have actually struck harder, wider and deeper.
The escalation happened, so be it.
India must not make the same mistake again.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
The Royal Challengers Bengaluru trophy celebrations turned tragic. As Stampede kills at least 10, several people have been injured during these victory celebrations. The BJP, meanwhile, has hit out at the Congress government in Karnataka over the Stampede fiasco. Big major development as the caste census is going to begin nationwide from the 1st of March 2027 and is going to start earlier on the 1st of October 2026 in the hilly state. It's going to be carried out in 2 phases. A major setback for Rahul Gandhi as the Allahabad High Court rejects the plea over alleged derogatory remarks on the army during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Australian Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles in Delhi, discussed boosting India-Australia strategic partnership. Kamala Hassan, the actor-turned-politician, refuses to apologize, reiterates Tamil identity as stalemate over release of Thug Life as the stalemate in Karnataka continues. Pakistan issues a fresh NOTAM for Rahim Yar Khan, runway to remain closed till the 20th of this month in Pakistan. The northeast flood situation is turning critical by the day, affecting more than 5.5 lakh people. The death toll has now risen to 36 at least. And the top story we're tracking for you. As the IPL frenzy, the RCB victory parade, it turned fatal. At least 10 people have been killed and scores of people have reportedly been hospitalized after a stampede broke out near the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. The police are requesting the people to disperse at this point in time. The heart of the city was awash with red supporters. The RCB fans had painted the town red in a positive way. Well, initially, supporters of the RCB, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, they had gathered in large numbers to witness the team members who recently lifted the IPL Cup, breaking that jinx of 18 years. And in many places, loud cheers in the name of RCB, in the name of Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar, the team captain, reverberated throughout the city from early in the morning. Now, BJP has slammed the Karnataka Congress government over negligence, citing that there was no proper crowd control measures, which is why this stampede took place. But politics aside, it was, of course, a festive celebration of the IPL victory of the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, who for the first time in their 18-year career of the IPL, well, picked up. Now DK Shiv Kumar, the Deputy Chief Minister, has apologized for the RCB celebration stampede. These are words coming in from DK Shiv Kumar himself. He says, I apologize. DK Shiv Kumar apologizing for the RCB celebration stampede. The Congress government already on the back foot. It was almost a little bit of a political outreach to the people of Bengaluru. The government did want to showcase that they want exactly what the people of Bengaluru want, which is to see a victory parade, a celebration of the RCB bringing in the IPL trophy finally after a big long gap of 17 years. For the first time, their maiden IPL trophy on their fourth attempt. You can see the policemen, lathi charging the fans that had gathered outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. The crowd control was already a problem right at the outset. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah has been bringing us ground reports showing us exactly how the crowd was being handled at these various gates of M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. Vijay Prasad, spokesperson for the BJP, and Professor Chambi Puranik, political analyst, with us on the broadcast. Mr. Prasad, let me come to you very quickly. This was almost a little bit of, a political outreach by the Congress party. You could see the dais. You had the governor, the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, a lot of security right in front of Vidhana Sauda, but not the same outside M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. And clearly, this is given arsenal to the BJP, but keeping political brinkmanship aside, Mr. Prasad, how do you look at these developments? What exactly happened? Who really is to be blamed for this?
Celebration has turned into a funeral house today. It is I would like to say, rather than going into a very political one, I would like to blame the current incumbent government, Congress government in Karnataka, who has totally mismanaged the entire event. This celebration they have turned into a funeral house because of their inefficiency. The government is totally unprepared, and the intelligence has totally failed. And since yesterday, when the RCB won the match, they were aware. The government was totally aware that the celebrations will be carried out in Bangalore. The team will arrive in Bangalore, and they had all the information. But they also expected the fans to come to the Vidhan Sauda and to the stadium. And all this were expected in line. All this was expected, and because after 18 years, the people were waiting for 18 years, and it is just a logic that it is a common sense even for the government to expect this kind of a crowd. But the government, the Congress government under Siddaramaiah's leadership and Home Minister G. Parmeshwara, they have totally failed, and they have. And
I'll tell you what, Mr. Prasad, I'll tell you what. There's another breaking development. Let me just surprise the viewers and Professor Puranik, who's with us on the broadcast. Okay. Official numbers are telling us that the death toll has now reached 11. At this point in time, several others injured. They've been shifted to the nearby hospital for treatment. And at this point in time, 11 death toll. And the Chief Minister of the state, Siddaramaiah, and the Home Minister of the state, G. Parmeshwara, are currently holding a discussion. But D.K. Shivkumar has come out and he's apologized. He says, I apologize. Professor Puranik, let me come to you next. Are you pointing the fingers of blame towards the Karnataka Congress government as well? These are unprecedented scenes. Never has the team won the IPL before. Never has this sort of victory parade been carried out. And I'm constantly seeing these visuals of the policemen lathi charging on these fans. I mean, is this how you want to deal with the fans across all the visuals, the Newsline exclusives that we've been bringing? You've been on the show for the longest time now. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is holding a meeting with Karnataka's Home Minister G. Parmeshwara. And at various gates of M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, you could see the stampede-like situation evolving ever since the day. And like Mr. Prasad put it, there is no other way to say this, but to say that this victory celebration has in fact turned funeral for many of these people.
Well, Kabir, I do share the agony and the kind of sufferings that have gone into the 9 or 11 dead people's families. A day of celebration, rejoicement has been turned into a day of mourning. I think the entire Karnataka will be shocked to know that more than 11 people are dead, about 9 are in ICU in severe critical condition. And more than 20 or 30, still numbers are not known, but what will be known in the evening. But the whole thing is, I will not join any political party because you and me are apolitical and we are very objective. I must say that it is a failure of the state government for not having planned it so well, because they know the mob frenzy will be there, and then just within 12 hours you have arranged this kind of celebration program. And even on the stage, when the players were given all the kind of whatever respect and all that honoring. I think there was a lot of crowd and, unnecessarily more than 200 people over the dais. That means to say that there is no planning in terms of such celebration, which should have been a historic rejoicement. But unfortunately, the state government and also Chief Minister, Home Minister, D.K. Shivakumar, whatever, maybe apologies later than that. But who will bring back the people who are dead, and those who are still suffering? We don't know what kind of injuries are there. So I think, the whole planning should have been planned well. You remember in Bombay, when the World Cup was won, the kind of mob which was there, similar to Bangalore, or much more there, but how disciplined, except for small, kind of a small lathi charge and all that, the entire thing, went off very well. They could have planned it, or they could have postponed it. There was no hurry. Just because they're coming to Bangalore, or maybe they could have been given rest also for 2 days.
Clearly, the crowd had started gathering at about 9 a.m. this morning. At the Vidhana Sauda. If the government would have looked closely, because I could see D.K. Shivakumar doing a little bit of a crowd control with the politicians and the VIP dignitaries on the main dais, but he could have done the same for the people who had gathered there. It was a sea of fans. It was a big, huge crowd. I mean, the police deployment could have been increased in the hours that led to this, fateful stampede-like situation that was developing at the ramparts of the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. With us on the broadcast is also Dr. Basavraj Itnal, who's a political analyst, a senior journalist. Mr. Itnal, some of these visuals that we're constantly showcasing. Mr. Prasad, we're going to come to you right next. Let me bring in Mr. Itnal. We're learning that D.K. Shivakumar has apologized. We're getting some visuals, and we'll quickly export them for the screens for the viewers as well, that Bengaluru metro stations, the underground metro stations, are so heavily crowded right now that in itself is a big cause of concern. And D.K. Shivakumar coming out and apologizing puts the Congress party on the back foot already. The BJP is going to make sure that they leave no stone unturned hitting out at the Congress party. But in terms of actual police deployment, in terms of management, they really were falling far behind. How are you looking at these developments? From celebration to funeral, it turned fatal in a jiffy.
We don't need to see this as a Congress or BJP kind of situation. So come to think of it, who has organized this event? This event was organized by government of Karnataka. Whatever virtual party is there at the helm of affairs. It is government of Karnataka which had announced yesterday itself that there will be a victory march from Vidhan Sauda to Chinnaswamy Stadium. There will be an event, felicitation event in the Vidhan Sauda, and one more celebratory event inside the stadium. That was the plan. Now in the morning, because of that, people thronged to Vidhan Sauda and that surroundings. And they are waiting for this victory march to take place so that they can cheer and they can celebrate the victory which has come to them after 18 years of long wait. But what happened suddenly in the morning, the government decides not to have that victory march from Vidhan Sauda to stadium. So now they decide to have only one event in the stadium, one event in the Vidhan Sauda, and for the event in stadium, they don't allow entire fan base. They don't allow everyone inside. They say only pass holder can enter. Now those who do not have pass are obviously will be frustrated, and they will definitely make they will throng to the stadium and they'll create a scene. And where is stadium? Where is Chinnaswamy Stadium? It is a stone's throw away from police commissioner's office. It's a stone's throw away from
Dr. Itnal, I'm going to have to stop you here. My apologies. We've got on the phone a BJP member of parliament. We've got PC Mohan, who's joined us on the phone line. Very warm welcome to you, sir. All right, it seems like we've lost that connection. We're going to quickly try and patch that back. Many apologies, Dr. Itnal. Please complete your thoughts.
It is to organize police support and crowd control measures. That too in Chinnaswamy Stadium. Chinnaswamy Stadium is at the start of the MG Road. And MG Road and Brigade Road and this Queen's Road, Infantry Road, these are the places where every time during Christmas or New Year's time, there is a huge crowd. Half of Bangalore gathers there, and police knows. They have means, they have everything, every means to control the crowds there. Why didn't they do it? They simply took the crowd for granted. D.K. Shivakumar coming and saying the crowds are uncontrollable, it makes no sense. Crowds are supposed to be uncontrollable. That's the very definition of crowds. Crowds and mobs are uncontrollable. So you need to control them. That is policing job. And what was Commissioner doing? What was the Home Minister doing? What is the point in holding meeting now? when 11 people have died, we don't know how many more will be the casualties. And come to think of it, on the day of celebration, such a long-awaited celebration, we're having this. How shameful it is. How shameful it reflects on the government of Karnataka, on Karnataka police. How will you manage? If you cannot manage things, why do you organize this? It's very simple. Who is the organizer? Organizer is not some random individual private body. It's government of Karnataka. And if you do not know the sentiments of people...
Krunal, it seems like PC Mohan, the Member of Parliament from Karnataka, BJP Member of Parliament, is with us on the broadcast. Mr. Mohan, how are you looking at these developments? It's certainly a tragic moment that we're witnessing in Bengaluru.
See, yesterday when RCB won after 18 years, people were thrilled. Even last night, I was traveling around between 12 and 12:30. I had gone for came from Mumbai last night. I was coming to my house between around 12:31. Also, people were celebrating, and people were in joyous mood. And today they have called their team today, and without any proper arrangements, without any proper arrangements, they have called. It is totally negligence of the government and the police.
Right,
and today, the fans are suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. From the metro stations to the streets, we saw it all. And I'm sure the entire city was celebrating. But what, according to you, the management lacked essentially? We saw the police deployment. Was that not enough? We earlier in the day got to know that there's going to be no open roof victory parade. Logistical concerns were being, spoken about. That showcased that the government thought about it, but clearly not enough.
I see one thing. Yesterday, after the victory, they should have seen the people's mood. And today, immediately after a day, team is coming. So definitely people were thrilled to see the whole team. That we are winning after 18 years. Fans, everybody wanted to see the players. And government has not made any proper arrangement. They were in a hurry to just celebrate this victory, this thing.
Right.
They had not made any arrangements.
No arrangements were made at all. What would the BJP government have done differently at this point in time, Mr. Mohan, if one could ask you that question?
See, one thing today, we see whatever has happened really is very sad and unfortunate, See, more than 10 people have lost their lives. Some youngsters also, they have lost life. They have come to see they came to celebrate victory, but they have gone dead home today.
Mr. Mohan, the DK Shiv Kumar, Deputy Chief Minister, he's apologized. He's come out and he's made a statement. He says, I apologize. How do you look at that statement?
See, apologizing is that he has done, that is different. But, the arrangements, because of the lack of arrangements, they were not prepared for these crowds to handle. The police should have assessed, because of yesterday's celebration after the victory, how people were celebrating. Looking at midnight, people are celebrating for till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Then they should have arranged better way. Better policing, they should have done it. Okay. Thank you.
All right. That was PC Mohan, the Member of Parliament of the BJP for Bangalore Central, saying no arrangements were made. Professor Puranik, I think we just heard the BJP MP. I'm going to quickly skip Mr. Prasad because, you've got the BJP Member of Parliament. But Mr. Prasad, do stay on with us. Please don't go anywhere. Professor Puranik, no arrangements were made. That's absolutely right. We were also covering the entire victory parade and the celebration visuals coming from various parts of Karnataka, let alone, of course, Bengaluru, where the most amount of celebrations took place. And right about till 2:30 a.m. in the night, various areas outside, screening areas outside various cafes, pubs and lounges, there was some sort of celebration that was taking place. One could have foreseen the amount of people that would have gotten onto the streets in the morning tomorrow. Couldn't they have arranged for better, deployment of the police, made better arrangements, maybe put up large screens outside so that everybody, just like Dr. Itnal was talking about, did not have to go inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. They could have, sat outside, maybe seen the entire event on a big screen. Really sad to see what's prevailed on the streets of Bengaluru today.
Yeah, I agree with you that they should have arranged it properly in such a way that, big screens could have been installed and people could have been given that opportunity of looking at the players and all that. I think, the whole idea, let us not politicize. If you ask BJP people, they will blame. But as a general public and as the concerned person. I feel very, depressed, and also I feel sad that 11 people have lost their lives. And so many are injured. Many things will come. I will give you the final report late in the evening. But right now, they could have postponed it. There was no hurry. Where is the hurry? Even you should not behave like the mob. There is a decision which is not well planned. They have not taken suggestions from police or from the sports authorities.
Professor Puranik, I'm going to stop you again here. We've got Satya Prakash, who's joining us on the broadcast here. Very warm welcome to you. This is the KPCC spokesperson, sir. Everybody is quite angered at the way the Congress government in the state of Karnataka has handled the entire situation. Well, it seems like Mr. Satya Prakash not willing to answer those questions, or it could be some technical difficulty. I'm not going to stick my neck out here, but I'm going to request the control room to quickly patch them back. We need a Congress response on how the Congress government is now going to deal with this. We've got a reaction from DK Shiv Kumar. We're going to quickly play that out as well. Mr. Vijay Prasad, let me bring you in on the discussion, spokesperson for the BJP. What are some questions that now you're going to put forth? Because let's not make any bones about this. The BJP will politicize this, episode. They will talk about the shortcomings of the Congress government. What are two prime questions that need to be asked of this Siddaramaiah-led government right now?
See, it is not about the politicizing. See, we know the situation. Okay, Kabir. Okay, now the question is, in the last 2 weeks, Bangalore is in news for the two wrong reasons. Last week, we had flood-like situation. The inefficient government did not do anything. And today the same inefficient government, inefficient CM, inefficient Home Minister, they are nowhere in the picture.
Government for the Chief Minister, Mr. Prasad. Mr. Satya Prakash is with us. Let me take that question to the KPCC spokesperson. Mr. Satya Prakash, can you hear us in the studio?
See, all those who are now shouting no here, Mr. PC Mohan.
No, sir. Please, wait a minute, Mr. Satya Prakash. People are angry. This has turned, painting the town red has gone wrong on various levels.
Yeah. These were the same people, Mr. PC Mohan, who in the morning tweeted. Please look at his tweet. What Mr. PC Mohan has tweeted. Yes.
What did he tweet?
He has questioned the Karnataka government. Can't you arrange a open jeep, open carnival for the RCB team? Is what he has tweeted. Please check. And now, when some incident has happened, all of them are crying horse. They can't take any responsibility. See, an untoward
Mr. Prakash, in the morning, nobody knew this was going to happen.
Politics over it.
Nobody knew this was going to happen in the morning.
Correct. Then why are they talking like that?
In the morning, people were, of course, sad that there was going to be no open roof celebration. You see it all across the world. Any team that wins the championship cup, from Gujarat Titans to Mumbai Indians to Paris Saint-Germain, who've just lifted the UCL championship, they all carry out an open roof, a bus victory parade. If it wasn't happening, then people would have...
Has anything happened there? What has happened is within the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And it is up to the organizer to do it right.
So there is no role of the Karnataka government. It wasn't. I mean, you see, when people die, people look for collars to grab. Whose collar does one grab right now? Who's the bigger brother here? It is, of course, the Karnataka government in the state.
So you're going to grab. Is that the need of the hour today? Grabbing collars? Is that the need of the hour?
Of course, their loved ones, sir.
Correct. We need to look at those. We need to empathize with those families. And an untoward incident has happened. Okay. For that, playing politics on dead bodies.
The Deputy Chief Minister has come out and said that he apologizes for this fiasco. Who do we blame for this? How about we get a Congress response on this? Who do we blame for this thing?
If we want to do the blame game, we will take the responsibility. We have no problem with it. But is that the need of the hour? Is all what I'm questioning. Still, the more than 45,000 people are inside the stadium. Any panic, there will be many more chaos there. So let us wait.
Ever since the morning, Mr. Prakash, we're also joined by Mr. Ashok Gowda, the BJP spokesperson. Mr. Gowda, please stay on with us. Mr. Satya Prakash, I know you're about to catch a flight as well, but we need some Congress responses. If this is not the need of the hour right now, What does one do? How does one react to this, entire development? This was supposed to be a victory parade, and now people have died because of stampede situations. And ever since the morning, News 9 Live has been bringing exclusive, walkthroughs and ground reports on various gates of the Chinnaswamy Stadium, Mr. Satya Prakash, where the police was having to resort to lathi charge in the run-up to the team making their way to the Vidhana Sauda. The crowd had gathered. Couldn't one make sense of more police deployment? Take a look at some of these visuals. These are deferred by about, let's say about an hour and a half. Look at the amount of people that had gathered there. Couldn't the police be more? Couldn't we do more? That's the question I'm trying to ask. Well, it seems like Mr. Satya Prakash has dropped that line. Let me quickly bring in Mr. Ashok Gowda, BJP spokesperson. Mr. Gowda, those are some questions. The Congress party is saying that we need to empathize right now, not ask these questions. The blame game can wait for some time. Is that the right way to look at these developments? Please tell us.
See, definitely from yesterday I was there in the city center watching the match with my children. And when I was heading back home, which was just 5 kilometers away from the city center, I found that in 4 places, whether it is in Adagodi, Kormangla, Maruti-Nagar, Madiwala, and also in BTM layout, the fans had gathered and creating a kiosk, and they were just shouting without any kind of a meaning. Only in one place I found one police vehicle, that too only 2 policemen. In spite of I calling unread, there was no much of response. What does this mean? This means that there was no preparation if the RCB wins, and what will be the kind of the fan following what RCB has across Bangalore, what will be the outcome. There was no preparation at all by police, point 1. Point 2, even if there was a celebration which was planned by the government, that too Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, Home Minister sitting on the dais, what should have been the preparation? There should have been a massive preparation. I was there in the city center, in the MS building, just adjoining to the Vidhan Sauda where celebrations was supposed to start. And that too, with the senior officials I was sitting, and they were saying, please leave now, and there will be a huge kiosk which will be created here. And
so when everybody was understanding this, why didn't the Congress government also understand that? You know what, Mr. Gowda, please stay on with us. We've got DK Shivkumar's soundbite. Let's play that out. And to both our political analysts who are with us, Professor Chambi Puranik and Dr. Basavaraj Itnal. See, this is the politicization that I was talking about. B.Y. Vijayendra has already made a beeline to the nearby hospital. He's taking stock of the situation. He's gone on and visited those that are injured right now, which is why it's important that we need to talk about the politics, because to both the gentlemen, Professor Puranik and Mr. Itnal, I'm telling you that this is going to be politicized, and you also know it yourself, sir. Of course, there are different questions that we need to answer, away from the political prism, but need to look at this under the political lens as well. Professor Puranik and Dr. Itnal, do stay on with us. DK Shivkumar's soundbite on your screens next, and then we'll go across to Mr. Gowda.
We are very proud on behalf of the RCB and Karnataka. 18 years. A long struggle. Mr. Kohli's lot of trouble is there. I don't want to disturb the doctors who are trying to take care of the patients. And only the exact number is not been still this one. So we are at it. We appeal to all of them to still to be calm.
How many people died?
That is why we cut off a lot of programs were there. We didn't want to continue with the program. Only within 10 minutes with one round we just closed it. And we appeal even in the metros, whatever the metros has been jammed. We are not able to start. We are taking a little bit time to see that everything comes to the normal position.
What is at present?
No, yes. Of course. There is some issues. I will come back to you after I visit the hospital.
Sir,
No, I can't.
Only 5,000 police personnel were deployed, sir. What you said, the crowd that came in was running into thousands, sir. Was
No,
this enough?
it was not thousands, it was lakhs. No. See, Nodi.
BJP is saying, sir, it was
ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೋ ನಮ್ಮವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I don't blame my police department. They have done their best. But ನೀವೇ ನಿಮ್ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ನೋಡಿದಿರಿ, ಯಾರು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನಾವು ಯಾರು ದೊಣ್ಣೆ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಷನ್ ಓಪನ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು. ವಿ ಡಿ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೋ, ನಂಬರ್ 1. ತಿರ್ಗಾ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದಿಂದ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿತ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವ್ಯಾರು ಭಾಷಣ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಕೊಟ್ಟು. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ನಮ್ಮ KCA ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆ, ವಿತಿನ್ 10-15 minutes ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೇ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡದೆ ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬಂದಂತವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಜಲ್ದಿ ನಾವು ಮುಗಿಸಿದೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಭೇಟಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ.
The Deputy Chief Minister of the state, D.K. Shivkumar, Mr. Ashok Gowda, BJP spokesperson with us on the broadcast. How do you respond to that? These are unprecedented scenes, Mr. Gowda. Let's make no bones about that as well. Never has the city seen a celebration of this magnitude. These are unprecedented scenes, and of course, to corner D.K. Shivkumar, Okay, M. Hanumanthaiah, Congress Member of Parliament, is with us on the broadcast. Let me quickly go across to him. Many apologies, Mr. Gowda. We need Congress responses more at this point in time. Mr. Hanumanthaiah, people are certainly angered at this point in time, and you can't blame them for being angry.
Yeah. No, it is very unfortunate that the stampede has taken place during the celebration. Another important thing is the victory of the RCB has been hyped to such a level that a very, very rare incident has happened. It was hyped like that. And that is one of the reasons that lot of people have joined in that area and this stampede has taken place. And it was definitely the police has to acted much better than this. They should have taken action.
Well, the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Hanumanthaiah, D.K. Shivkumar says, I am happy with what the police did. I am not going to blame the police. People are now coming up with figures saying 5,000 police personnel deployed for a sea of crowd that was going beyond lakhs in terms of numbers. From last night to today, 9 a.m. in the morning, couldn't the deployment be a little more better on the streets?
No, it was definitely the government decision that there will be a big crowd and they will join together, because I have seen in the whole night there was a celebration in Bengaluru.
Right.
And that hype has taken all these people to join there in the celebration in the Chinnaswamy Stadium. So the expected crowd has been increased without any expectation of anybody in the matter. Though this stampede has taken place, it is most unfortunate. It should not happen.
What does one say to the people who have lost their loved ones right now, Dr. Hanumanthaiah? Please help, console those souls as well, because away from the political upmanship, lives have been lost. This was a celebration that has now turned very fatal, very tragic within hours. One has to understand and ask these questions whether who's to blame at this point in time. Somebody has to be held accountable for this, isn't it?
No, it is definitely the responsibility has to be fixed on somebody who is responsible for this. I agree with it. But people who have joined here, who have gathered here, should have taken much more care before going to come here, because there was a huge crowd which has come here. In spite of that Chinnaswamy Stadium is so big, people have joined here. That is the main reason.
Lack of queues, Dr. Hanumanthaiah, lack of police deployment, and Dr. Hanumanthaiah, also one has to look at that there was no advisories that were issued. Usually in these kind of cases, advisories are issued.
I fully agree with you. Lot of precaution should have been taken by the police, expecting the crowd, that how much crowd would have been come here.
And I'll tell you, Dr. Hanumanthaiah, where it hurts the Congress party, Dr. Hanumanthaiah, it has hurt the Congress party, because this was early in the morning. People started talking about how this is a political outreach by DKS and Siddaramaiah with the larger crowd. They have won the title. Yesterday only, the Congress party had put up posters.
Done their duty. The government has a moral responsibility. They have decided to make this kind of function by the people's aspiration. It is just people's aspiration. You should have seen yesterday. I think I was in the night on road. I have seen people, how they were on the street and how many people were there. I have seen by my own eyes. It was the people's aspiration that they wanted to celebrate. That is what government has done. I don't say government has done a mistake by doing this. I will never say this.
No, absolutely not. That's not what I was getting to. Of course, people wanted to see this victory parade, Dr. Hanumantaiah. That's why people came out at 9 a.m. in the morning. But couldn't you foresee the crowd that was coming in from the border areas of Bengaluru? Some sort of information must have trickled down. You're telling us, all the other people on the panelists on the show are telling us that late in the night till about 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. celebrations were carried out. That should have only told the Karnataka government that more people are expected on the ground. That's why deployment should be more. That's the entire idea. This is lack of planning, this is bad planning and a lack of foresight, if one could say that, sir.
I agree with it. See, I don't want to make this a political issue. Whether it is BJP, whether it is Congress government, if such an incident has to be taken place, I think people has to take proper care in protecting the lives of the people. It should not be. You don't have a better place than Chinnaswamy Stadium to have this kind of function, expecting a big crowd. So I don't want to politicize this kind of issue. I really feel very sorry for the families of the bereaved, and the government has to definitely take care of their families and announce a proper gratia for these deaths. And the whole Karnataka, I think not only Bengaluru, the whole country has to mourn for this kind of stampede. It should not have happened.
All right. Dr. Hanumantaiah, many thanks for joining us here on News 9 and answering all those questions. Also with us on the broadcast is Malvika Avinash, BJP spokesperson. Malvika, please help the viewers understand what must be racing past through your mind. You must have spoken to some senior members of the party as well at this point in time. We earlier saw B.Y. Vijendra making a beeline to a nearby hospital. Even as everybody on the show is saying, let's not politicize this, but this is going to be politicized. If not right now, maybe 24 hours later, once we have better numbers of the police deployment and once D.K. Shiv Kumar has visited the people who are getting treatment in the hospitals as well. Malvika Avinash, BJP spokespersons on your screens.
See, first and foremost, it's extremely sad that what was a celebration that the entire state and all the people of Karnataka, all the Kannada-speaking people felt so much pride and were celebrating ever since RCB won the IPL 2025 last night. And thereafter, we have only been hearing firecrackers and people, expressing their happiness and joy and all of that. All this was fine right up to about 2:33 this afternoon when they had made beelines on both sides of the road on which the RCB team was going to travel in their bus. And till then it all appeared fine. I think what went completely wrong was that open ceremony that the state government put together outside Vidhan Sauda. I think that's where that was the beginning of this awful situation that is created now. And therefore, I think from my own side and on behalf of Bharatiya Janata Party, I extend our condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones and some who are battling for life in the hospital. Yes, Mr. Vijendra has visited some of them. Our other party leaders also are visiting them. The government, after the celebration last night, should have expected this kind of a crowd to hit the streets. That is one. The second one is the police should have had a clue on what would be the numbers that reach these locations. Two locations, I think specifically. One was, of course, the beeline on the roads which were controlled. One was this Vidhan Sauda, the second was Chinnaswamy Stadium. And outside Vidhan Sauda, when you allow thousands of people to gather the way they had, then, I think that's where the government went. It lost the situation, it went out of its control, and I think the Home Minister really and his police department, I think, completely lost their control over what was going on from there onwards. So perhaps foreseeing this kind of crowd or foreseeing this kind of, numbers to arrive, the honoring that the state government chose to do could have been done differently instead of that open stage. Then, of course, the way the gates of Chinnaswamy Stadium were opened. The gates were flung open to all and sundry, and therefore everyone rushed in, and some lives were also lost there. So both these situations could have been under control, and I think the state government has failed the people of Karnataka in not being able to control, and young lives have been lost. All these are young enthusiasts, cricket enthusiasts, who loved RCB. So it's really sad that even, I think the government has let down RCB team also by doing this, right, or by allowing this to happen, by losing control. This team came to celebrate with us, and today they go home, sad, because their fans have suffered the loss. So I think the Home Minister owes us all an explanation. The Bangalore Minister, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, owes the people of Karnataka an explanation. And I think at the Home Minister, there have been repeated failures of law and order in the state. Dakshina Kannada, the number of, murders and arrests and of Karyakartas is, it's as if it's a police state in Dakshin Kannada. Some of the BJP workers have been picked up in the middle of the night. So, literally, I think the Home Minister has lost control over the law and order situation in the state. And adding to that is this sad day that Karnataka has seen never before. I think he should resign.
All right. Well, Malvika Vinash, BJP spokesperson there, many thanks for speaking to us here on News 9. Professor Puranik, and Dr. Itnal, he would know as well, the press club in Bengaluru is right across the Vidhana Saudha. The roads and some of those visuals that we have with the gates of the Vidhana Saudha barred and the people standing on that magnificent road, but with lakhs of people, with tens of thousands of people coming onto that road, there was pretty much no breathing space on that road. Was Vidhana Saudha the right place to carry out this entire event? That's one question that one has to ask as well. Couldn't the location be a little bit more better? Because logical deduction would tell us that what the BJP spokespersons are telling us should have been carried out. If last night the crowd was so huge, then today's expectations should have matched the aspirations of the fans on the streets last night, isn't it, Dr. Itnal?
Vidhan Saudha having this kind of event, it's a very popular event. Probably, probably the government, mistook it for some kind of a state event. For state events, not.
It looked like a state event, Dr. Itnal. It looked like a state event. If one did not know what was happening, they would probably think that Siddaramaiah's term has come to an end and maybe D.K. Shivkumar is being sworn in as the next chief minister.
You're right. It is a state event, but not unlike others. It's a different one. It has such a huge popular appeal. It's not like some dignitary is taking oath of office, some minister is taking oath of office. Not like that. This is cricket, religion of India. Many people have that is supposed to attract a huge kind of a crowd. That too, after having seen the kind of streets the Bengaluru police has seen, this is expected. One. Number two, Vidhan, that's different. But until this sad development of events, sad turn of people are, they stop people pouring in, and they were seeing the crowd getting larger and larger, and police commissioner next door, the DGP next door, the traffic control room next door. So it is the corner camera there, controlled by police. People knew they could not respond. I just failed to understand this, because this is not a flash mob that suddenly in half an hour, in 1 hour, people thronged. No. From Vidhan Saudha to Chinnaswamy Stadium and that area, this Kabban Road and Mint Square and all that area, Queen's Road, it is all highly, there is a huge surveillance there. Every corner has a police camera there. Now, control room is next door only. Commissioner is next door. At least officers must have passed through that road in the course of the day. Nobody could see this. Nobody could foresee. Nobody could imagine what happened. And would manage. How can it be responsible? I just failed to understand. Because that only this is developed. without thinking twice about it. That is escapism. That's pure escapism. It is a victory after 18 years, and given that kind of hype up. It will hype up accordingly because after 18 years of wait, Virat Kohli and his team has won the cup, and we will talk about it. And people will be sentimental about it. Bangalore streets will be full of all this sentimental outburst. The state's job is to respond accordingly. That's what one and the only thing they have to do. And now coming out and saying that, look, crowd was uncontrollable, people should have thought, media should have thought, that is all escapism. That's all escapism. But assigning blame is one thing, but very regrettable thing is that such a beautiful day, such a beautiful celebration has turned into such a gloomy evening. Such a gloomy evening. It's really, one doesn't know how to respond to this kind of a turn of events.
No, you're absolutely right. Professor Puranik, this is state negligence. This is negligence at the hand of the state. That's been clarified. But how criminal is this negligence? Because 11 people have died, almost 20 plus are injured due to this stampede. The metro stations are completely chock-a-blocked. Even D.K. Shivkumar himself said that this is an issue right now. Those metro stations are blocked. The streets are blocked. There's cacophony, that's acrimony. Nobody will be able to tell you that this was, in fact, a victory parade celebrations. It looks like what happened in France with the PSG celebrations, things going awry instantly. For the viewers who don't necessarily understand Kabban Park area, Vidhana Sauda, M. Chinnaswamy, the roads that lead and connect these places, help them understand how big were these roads, was it the right area to carry out this victory parade celebration, and this is negligence, but how criminal is this negligence, Professor?
It is both, It is not only negligence, but also a criminal kind of the blame or responsibility to be fixed also. But, the whole thing looks so chaotic. The central district of Bangalore, as Mr. Yattal said, all important officers are there. And then, you can jolly well plan such an event in a systematic way and also appeal to the people through media. You could have asked media just to say that people should go to such and such a place, and they will enable them to see the players and all that. I think it is not at all there. The whole thing, now saying all that, and also saying that police have done their duty. No, police has failed miserably, and the responsibility goes to the Home Minister and also Deputy Chief Minister who is in charge of the whole event. His own kind of decision and all that. He should have given some kind of time for the police to plan and all that. That he has not done. Everything is done in such a fast way that people have no comprehension on what will happen from minute to minute, hour to hour, and also from the airport to the city and then to the next event. Just by hopping from one place to another, the government has tried to hijack the whole kind of celebration, turning into, as Mr. Yattal said, a gloomy day, a gloomy evening. And also the Bangalore city people, this Karnataka people are definitely going to mourn it. They are not going to spare this government. Any kind of apology or explanation will not work, because 9 precious lives, out of that one young girl of 9 years old, Divyamsha, I'm told, she lost her job. The stampede would definitely, it will happen, because of the mob. The mob has no discipline. Mob has only emotion. And that emotional situation should be handled properly. And such things have happened in the past also. And people have not learned this. They just go in an ad hoc manner. The whole thing is...
What, Professor Puranik, we've got a gentleman called Chetan who's joining us on the broadcast here. I'm being told that he was, affected due to this stampede. Chetan, very warm welcome to you here on News 9. Many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to us. Can you help the viewers understand what exactly transpired? What was your ordeal? Did you get hurt as well? Are you okay, first and foremost?
Sir, there was a big mob.
Okay.
They were... pushing the people like anything.
Are you okay right now, Chetan? Are you okay? Are you fine? Where are you right now?
I'm fine, but quite swelling in the right arm.
Okay.
Right shoulder.
All right, Chetan. Go on and tell us exactly what transpired.
Sir, there was in annex. No, door number, So gate number 20, yeah. gate number 20. There was a big mob there.
Okay.
People were pushing like anything. We were requesting the people to not to push. There were some girls over there and children.
Okay.
They pushed the barricade and they entered the. They were trying to enter the stadium. It's a big blunder, which is.
Can you help the viewers understand what kind of police deployment was there? Could you see enough police personnel? And we're also getting visuals of the lathi charge that was carried out on the fans over there. Was there Brazil lathi charge?
During that time, there was no one there. I was screaming like anything to help me.
Okay.
None of them came there and cleared that mob violence.
Did your friends also get hurt due to this stampede fiasco?
I witnessed two of them died over there. Even my friend witnessed two of them. Totally, we both saw 4 members died over there.
Well, my apologies, Chetan, that you had to go through this ordeal, that you were present right there, and it's a brave thing that you're doing right now, speaking to us as well. If one could ask you, and I know I'm asking you these serious questions when you're probably shocked, you're probably traumatized right now yourself. It's okay if you don't want to answer these questions, but I must ask you, who do you think the blame should fall on right now?
Stadium management as well as the police.
The police and the stadium management. This exactly happened when the team was about to come to the stadium. Had the team already come there?
They were not yet came there.
Okay. And you were waiting for the team bus to come there. You were waiting for the team bus to come there.
Yes, sir. We were waiting to get into the stadium.
Chetan, what time did you make your way to the Chinnaswamy Stadium? What time was it when you arrived at Chinnaswamy Stadium?
Time is Time? Around 2:33.
Around 2:33. How big was the crowd there at that point in time? And did you think the police was able to control all the crowd?
There were no police over there.
And what about the entry to the stadium, Chetan? Did you have a specific pass or were you allowed entry? What was happening in terms of the entry requirements?
It was free.
Okay.
Free entrance was there.
Anybody could come, right?
Anybody could come.
And when you saw that things were turning a little bit ugly, when you understood, were you able to understand that things might be turning ugly here? Too many people pushing each other.
Yes,
you must have thought that maybe I'll take a secure position somewhere.
I was almost entering this gate over there, but still, one girl came and pushed me like anything, and I fell down. She was sitting on my stomach. Even I tried like anything to survive over there. There was lots of suffocation, sir. I was literally requesting everybody to save me.
Are there people still inside the stadium bowl right now, Chetan? Where are you right now? Are you near the stadium complex?
I'm from London.
Well, you know what, Chetan? Many thanks for speaking to us here on News 9. I'm going to advise you again to please take care of yourself, of that swollen arm. You've done a brave job speaking to us here. And my apologies that you had to go through this ordeal at this point in time. That's the situation right now. Professor Puranik, Dr. Itnal, I've completely run out of time. I'm going to quickly slip into a quick commercial breather here and maybe continue with the developments on the other side. But you heard the gentleman over there. That's exactly what transpired. You can only see the policemen lathi charging the people. And D.K. Shiv Kumar saying that I have full trust and faith in how the police carried out their job. But the gentleman who just joined us on the broadcast, the stampede victim himself, who says that I saw 2 people die near me, I was suffocated, nobody came to our help, and there was no police in their vicinity. Now, of course, these are eyewitness statements, but these are also speaking volumes about what transpired. The Victory Day celebrations, the RCB Victory Parade, turning tragic and turning fatal on this account as well. Professor Puranik, Dr. Itnal, many thanks for speaking to us here on News 9. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here. Take a look at some of these visuals. The stampede in the RCB Victory Parade, 11 people have been killed.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Darkness in the silence of the night, where the roads carry.
Let there be dark. Scorpio and Carbon is here, the big daddy of SUVs.
Your walls are just OMG. Which paint?
नया बिरला ओपस
जो पहले से चल रहा है वही लगाना था ना।
नया बिरला ओपस पेंट्स फर्नीचर मार्क से बचाता है। सी
जो पहले से चल रहा है वही।
इनको जमाने से पीछे चलने दो। आप चुनो नया बिरला ओपस पेंट्स।
Is life transactional by any chance?
Of course. Everything in the creation affects everything else.
You are not only an actor, you are an activist.
Through my cinema, I've tried to always project what I really felt.
You tried to make women look beautiful for themselves.
The message to women was, let the spotlight of your life be on you.
You are fiercely competitive in nature, but you come across as a typical good boy that every mother would like to have.
But it doesn't mean you're not raging inside, or equally euphoric.
You have donned many hats, but who is Kiran Rao?
I am a speck, and I am not even a blink in time.
From being somebody to becoming nobody is the first step in enlightenment. Even now, I don't think of myself as a brand.
You still move ahead with your beliefs.
Winning the game is what's going to make this decision right.
It's a kind of a barometer that you have internally.
It was lovely talking to Barun.
It was great fun, and I think you'll find it fun to watch. I found the discussion very thought-provoking.
As befits such a conversation, one goes back with more questions than answers.
He gave me a formula which I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, which is something that you'll have to watch the show for.
Watch Radical Presents Duologue with Barun Das, Season 3 at these times on News 9. News 9, English news as it should be.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Welcome to News 9 and you're watching On Point with me. Let's take a quick look at the headlines. 11 dead, several injured as IPL celebration turns tragic during RCB victory parade near Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar apologizes. Caste census to begin nationwide from March 1, 2027. Exercise to begin early in J&K, Himachal and Uttarakhand in October 2026. Death toll in Northeast flood rises to 36, more than 5.5 lakh people affected. Kamal Hassan refuses to apologize, reiterates Tamil identity as stalemate over release of Thug Life continues. Setback for Rahul Gandhi as Allahabad High Court rejects plea over alleged derogatory remarks on army during Bharat Jodo Yatra. Prime Minister Modi meets Australian Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles in Delhi, discusses India-Australia strategic partnership. Pakistan issues fresh no time for Rahim Yar Khan runway to remain closed till June 20th, 2025. Pakistan Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar says chances of revival of an armed conflict between Pakistan and India remote. At least 11 fans, including a child, died in a stampede during the Victory Day celebration of the Royal Challengers Bengaluru over Punjab Kings in the final of IPL 2025. The stampede took place as thousands of fans gathered outside M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru to celebrate the victory of RCB in the IPL on Tuesday. More than 20 people are feared to be injured. Overcrowding and lack of crowd control could have triggered panic outside stadium during the celebrations. Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has apologized for the incident, even as BJP has demanded a judicial inquiry into the stampede.
I have spoken to the police commissioner and all the people. I am also going a little late to the hospital because now a lot of trouble is there. I don't want to disturb the doctors who are trying to take care of the patients, and only the exact number is not been still this one. So we are at it. We appeal to all of them to still to be calm.
BJP State President B.R. Vijayendra visited the injured in the hospital. Let me play out the bite.
State government has to take complete responsibility on this tragedy. When the entire nation was celebrating and entire Karnataka was celebrating RCB's victory, without any proper preparedness, state government's urgency to organize victory rally is the cause for this big tragedy. And state government never bothered about preparedness. So I demand Chief Minister to take up the responsibility and he should refer the matter for the judicial inquiry.
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Home Minister G. Parmeshwara held a meeting to assess the situation. The stampede took place when thousands of fans attempted to enter the stadium in a hurry from various gates. Police at the scenes transported the injured to the ambulances and shifted them to the nearby Boring Hospital. Police said that ambulances were unable to move quickly to the hospital due to the overcrowding on the road. Let me play out these visuals to you. 11 fans have died in a stampede. 11 fans have died in a stampede. Something which was in a celebratory mood turned so tragic. And it happened in the Bengaluru M. Chinnaswamy Stadium on Wednesday during the RCB Victory Day parade, leaving people dead. Let me just go across to Nabila Jamal, Executive Editor, News 9. Someone who understands Bengaluru very well, someone who has reported from Bengaluru. Nabila, I mean to say, there will be an investigation as to how this happened. Where did the lack took place in arrangement? But I'm just surprised that when people knew that this is a very exciting event for the people of Bengaluru, I mean, so this was very much avoidable.
Absolutely, Kartikeya. In fact, D.K. Shivkumar has just spoken and his words don't really come out with clarity. He says we believed and hoped there would be only 5,000 odd people, but the number that showed up were nearly 45,000 people. And along the streets of Bengaluru, which is so narrow, you barely can have three cars in one road at the same time. That's how narrow roads in the center of Bengaluru is. Right outside Chinnaswamy Stadium, those are just barely 4-lane roads, not big enough to actually hold 45,000 people. Where was the ambulance? Where was the police presence to manage that kind of crowd? If at all the Karnataka government decided that they wanted to felicitate the players of RCB, they should have been better prepared and planned. They should have had ambulances in place, hefty police deployment, call additional forces, looking at the kind of celebrations, the exuberance and the crazy fanfare that RCB has, and the fact that RCB won after 18 long years. It was incumbent on the state government of Karnataka to bring in additional police forces, deploy them at adequate points across Chinnaswamy Stadium so that this stampede situation does not happen. Let me tell you, Karthike, matches happen on a regular basis in Chinnaswamy Stadium. There have been near stampede-like situations in the past across Chinnaswamy Stadium, which is located right in the heart of Bengaluru city. It's right in the central business district area. It's entirely packed. That entire area itself is riddled with traffic. You have huge traffic presence in that very corner of, or the entire surrounding of Chinnaswamy Stadium is choco-block. So when you know there's going to be traffic, when you know that there are going to be crowds who will come to get a glimpse of the RCB players, then where were the additional forces deployed? We did not see that kind of police force present there to ensure that a stampede situation does not occur. More importantly, there were no ambulances on the street. So this is entirely the responsibility on the state government of Karnataka, and as expected, the BJP lapping it up, accusing the Congress government of laxities. You had B.Y. Vijendra, the president of the BJP, outrightly saying that the Congress government has to take full responsibility. What was the need for all these photo ops? Which is true. If one may ask, there should have been at least a little time taken for the situation to calm down, celebrations to subside, and then maybe a felicitation could have been organized separately. But to have done it in the heat of the moment, of course, the people are excited and they're enthusiastic to catch a glimpse of the players. At the time when they're so excited, you have players now holding a parade. Remember, they actually cancelled the victory parade on the road itself for the same very reason, saying that they cannot handle the crowd. It will be overwhelming. Then what was the need for the bus itself to move all the way from Chinnaswamy Stadium to Vidhan Sauda? First they arrived at Vidhan Sauda, then they went to Chinnaswamy Stadium. Even if it was not an open top parade, it was people were still there present to look through the buses to catch a glimpse. So if at all the government has actually held a whole felicitation ceremony for the photo optics of it, then they should have been very well doubled up with their police forces and their protection mechanism. No ambulance on the streets is the biggest mistake of the Congress here.
Nabila, you stay with me. You stay with me. I'm also joined by Sandeep Aniruddhan, convener, Citizen Agenda for Bengaluru. I mean, more than 10 people have died. More than 20 people are injured. I don't know how many people are injured. The fact of the matter is that someone did not do the job properly. Sandeep.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that someone is the person who's in charge of the city today. And that happens to be the state government. And why the state government is in charge of the city is another bigger riddle, because we are mandated to have a city government, and the state government has not allowed elections for 5 years, and the state government is running around like a headless chicken. Neither does it do justice to the city, nor does it do justice to the state. This squarely rests on, the blame rests on the state government. There is no escape from this. The city is supposed to have a proper city government which can, do these things. But then we have a state government where we have a chief minister and a deputy chief minister who seem to have an obsession with being the mayor and deputy mayor of Bengaluru. And this is the outcome. This is not the worst that's happening actually. Much worse things have been happening, or a series of bad legislations have been proposed for the city without taking the city into consideration. A whole lot of dubious projects are being hoisted on the city. This, it would be unfair to say this is not the worst. Maybe this is perhaps one of the worst symptoms of it, that there is no proper city government in the city, and there is nobody to look out for the city. There's nobody to plan, nobody to, it's just that the state government is treating the city like an afterthought, and this is the consequence. It's high time this changes. We need elections immediately to the city. In whatever form the ward delimitations are, 198, 243 or 225, they should hold an election immediately. They should hold it this month. And whatever else the state government is proposing for the city, I think they should get it ratified with a properly elected municipal council. Without that,
let me introduce my other guest immediately. Vivek Menon, former advisor to the CM of Karnataka, is also there with me. Your opening comments, and I need to go back to my colleague Nabila Jamal. Vivek.
Yeah, I think this is an extremely sad day coming on the heels of a victory that we just had. It's very unfortunate that this lack of planning has resulted in the death of almost 10 to 12 people today. I think the Bangalore police should have obviously recognized the kind of euphoria that is probably going to erupt on the back of this victory and planned it a lot better. And if they were not prepared for this, they should have probably delayed it by a day or two. The other thing is that converging, they should have probably blocked off a route all the way from maybe the HAL airport to Vidhana Sauda, which they were planning to do, and had the crowds dispersed across the entire length of the parade, as compared to telling everybody to just show up at Chinnaswamy Stadium. And I think so there's been a lack of planning. Obviously, there's going to be a political blame game going back and forth. But at the end of the day, Bangaloreans have lost their lives. RCB fans have lost their lives. And I think it's an extremely sad day for us. And I'm extremely surprised that the police force, especially led by Mr. Salim, who's a traffic expert, did not plan this better. The DCM has come out saying that they had over 5,000 policemen, but what were they doing? They usually when VIPs or VVIPs show up in our city, they plan this a lot better. They cordon off the entire road all the way from the HAL airport to Vidhan Sauda. So this could have been done in those same lines so that people could have dispersed along the entire route. They wouldn't 10 lakh people or how many ever lakh people showed up at Chinnaswamy wouldn't have shown up at one location, and they could have enjoyed the celebration. This could have been a victory celebration after 18 years that we would have all celebrated. But today we are mourning the loss of 10 to 12 RCB fans and probably more. It's very, very unfortunate. And this is the kind of lack of planning I think Sandeep was just referring to. The city governance.
So I just need to stop you. I just need to stop you here for a minute. There's some additional information that has come in. The additional information that has come in is that there was a slab put on a drain near the stadium premises and the people stood over it and the drain broke open, the slab, and people died in the resulting stampede and panic. Nabila, to you.
That's information that we've yet to corroborate, Karthikeya, but from what we know is that many of those fans, I could say there were many hooligans amidst those fans, but that's for something the government has to in fact anticipate and should have kept adequate police presence in place. But they were trying to jump over barricades, climb over trees, get off gates. They were really unruly and it was difficult, and the police were clearly outnumbered. They had very limited police presence at that point. Gate number 18 of Chinnaswamy Stadium is an area which usually sees that kind of overwhelming crowd because it's largely the masses, the Janta crowd, barely any money for those tickets there. It was a ticketed event. The Chinnaswamy Stadium felicitation was an event where you needed a pass. But yet we saw nearly 45,000 people show up, not to enter with a pass, but just to stand at the periphery of the Chinnaswamy Stadium to get one glimpse of the cricketers. And it's not as if it hasn't happened before. I can guarantee you, game after game, all through this IPL season, whenever there was a match at Chinnaswamy Stadium, people a lot of the fans who were the general masses, I could say, were standing outside to catch a glimpse of the cricketers rather than take a ticket and go inside, because buying a ticket is expensive. So they would stand on the road and then they would wave at the buses or the cricketers coming and going. These are very small, narrow lanes. Like Vivek also may have elaborated, it's impossible for even 3 cars to go at one go right opposite Chinnaswamy Stadium. That's how narrow those roads are. This has happened in the past, so the cops should have anticipated a fallout like this on a day like this. After 18 years of wait, IPL has finally come to RCB's side. They won the match. Celebrations could be chaotic, could have turned violent. Something that the government should have anticipated and deployed adequate police security, but that clearly has not happened. We hear some kids have died, and that's what's really tragic here. Those images that we see on our screens there of people trying to save those who came under their feet while they were being pushed.
Nabila, just hold on a minute. We've got a bite of Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister of Karnataka. Let me play out that bite. People were trying to ask me as to what happened, and then I'll come back to you.
Sir, your thoughts on the tragedy, sir? Siddaramaiah, sir, your thoughts on the tragedy. What do you have to say, sir? So many people have died.
So Siddaramaiah not responding to that. I am also joined by GS Prashant, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party Karnataka. So thank you for joining me. Your opening comments on this issue. Is it a case of mismanagement or pure bad luck?
No, it is definitely not bad luck. It is complete mismanagement because they have violated every possible security arrangement that they ought to have made. And they are so insensitive. Even after the news spread that people have died, the Congress ministers have continued the celebrations inside, which means they have no regard for the loss of life. And this is such a poor planning, and law and order in Karnataka, especially in Bangalore, is not to be seen for the last 24 months. Because ever since they have taken charge, these instances can be brought out week by week, and probably we will take a day to complete the mismanagement and how unprepared they are for any civic issue. Civic apathy is at its probably the worst ever situation in the history of Bangalore. And there is absolutely no management and no responsibility. The Home Minister doesn't own up the responsibility. The DCM, who is in charge of the Bangalore, is also the Bangalore in charge minister, doesn't own up. The CM doesn't own up. In fact, they are now blaming the fans, saying, why did you come? We wanted to celebrate it as a private event of Siddaramaiah, Shivkumar and others. But unfortunately, for them, the fans came. RCB is made by the fans, not Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. They should realize that. And they should have made proper arrangements, ensured that the roads from HL Airport to Vidhan Sabha are barricaded, ensure that there is no problem. Because they knew the time of arrival at HL was known much before, saying that they are arriving at 1:30 and at what time they are planning a celebration in Vidhan Sabha. Everything was known. They should have taken better precautions to ensure that people do not lose life when they are in fact out on the roads to celebrate. Can it be more tragic than this? Our empathies are with the families of those who have lost their lives. Imagine, they have gone to celebrate the victory which has come after 18 years, and that family has to now endure the loss of life of their dear one. Whose fault it is? It is the state government who is completely responsible, and the buck stops at the CM, the Home Minister and the DCM. They can't shift the blame to
Mr. Prashant, point taken. Mr. Prashant, point taken. You know, Sandeep, there is another issue. You know, this has taken place at a time when, you know, the city is congested. People find it difficult to go back. We are showing you the visuals of the metro. Let's play those visuals again. You know, even the metro stations are full. Even the metro stations are full. There was a panic, and this is happening in the first city. I mean, so Bengaluru is no. It's unlike other city. It's a very important city. It's a big city, and then to have a situation where you know, such a tragic incident takes place. So can you tell me, you know, right now, have all the steps been taken? Sandeep?
Karthikeya, see, the biggest tragedy of Bengaluru is it is one of the most important cities in India. We call it the IT capital of the universe. We call it by different names. But this is one city which has zero governance, zero planning, because the state government doesn't allow these things to happen. We have one of the worst managed cities in India here. It has been called out by the Supreme Court in 2023. They said Bengaluru is an excellent example of urban ruin due to haphazard development. We haven't got our act together, and lastly, it is the state government that is to blame, because they want their fingers in every pie. Instead of focusing on the state, they're always focusing on the city and not allowing a city government to be installed or to function. And this is not just one political party that's responsible for this. The previous BJP party did the same thing. Now the Congress is continuing in the same vein. Both have not allowed elections to take place. And this government has gone even further. They are destroying the city whichever way possible. They are trying to split it up. They are trying to do all kinds of things. But the basics, every day we face congestion. Every day because metro is crowded. It is not the first time we've had a victory parade. We've had victory parades before. I'm sure there should be the institutional memory of that. The planning is simple. Victory parades take place all over the world with even larger numbers. There are victory parades that happen throughout an entire city, and there are no incidents. It goes incident free. It points to basically that right now there is no responsible authority in the city. The city is up for grabs. People are just trying to milk this city, and everybody is only focusing on making money out of this city. Nobody cares about solving the problems of the city, and we don't have a responsive city government simply because we don't have one. And who's to blame? It is the state government, and we are being deprived in every way of governance, of civic management. Things are just crumbling around.
Sandeep, I remember 10 years ago, BJP came out with a Greater Bengaluru manifesto. Prakash Javadekar was in charge of it. Nabila, if you recall that, there was a Karnataka manifesto, and they came out with a Greater Bengaluru manifesto, and it was all about envisioning Bengaluru. What has happened to Delhi does events like this, Mumbai does events like this, many cities does events like these. And Nabila, before you could answer, I'm showing the visuals on the right side where in the entire mismanagement is evident. On the left side, we have politicians visiting the hospital, and obviously people are very, very aggrieved. Loved ones have died. Nabila, to you.
Right. I do want to explain the visual on the right side of our screens there, Karthikeya. You did rightly mention a slab could have broken off, a slab that was placed over a drain at one of the gates of Chinnaswamy Stadium. We hear that fans out of excitement stepped on one of those slabs, and that slab broke away, and some of them fell, and that led to panic and eventually a stampede. So if this is true, then this comes down to blame on the civic body, the BBMP. How can an open drain be just haphazardly covered by a slab? If that's really the story here, then it's much deeper. The blame should be taken by the government and the civic body alike for allowing a stone so loosely placed over a drain like that, knowing very well there could be crowds, people could be running helter-skelter. Exactly what has happened. That's led to the death of 11 people. And what's shocking here is that so far the government hasn't really put a finger on the number of deaths. We are confirming the deaths. News 9 here has said 11 people have been confirmed based on our reportage on the ground. But so far, Siddaramaiah nor DK Shivkumar has said nothing on the numbers of deaths. They've said that it's roughly around this number. We can't give you an exact number right now. So which very well means that the death toll could rise. There are many people, critical condition, currently hospitalized.
Let me straight away go to Mr. Menon, Vivek Menon, former advisor to the CM of Karnataka. There can be a local issue, there can be an immediate issue, but I think, I completely agree with Nabila and my other panelists. Bengaluru is suffering with larger issue of infrastructure.
Indeed.
And I think that's where the issue is, sir.
No, the thing is, over the past, whatever 5 to 7 to 10 years, in the absence of a city governance, right? Every successive state government has wanted to obviously wrest power because Bangalore is the goose that lays the golden egg. And so, in fact, right now they've come up with the Greater Bengaluru Authority, which basically strips away all powers from the BBMP. Not to say that the BBMP was very effective, but at the same time, it was the last mile connectivity. It was the entity that basically was responsible for all of the civic improvements in the city, including solid waste management, the roads, and all of that. And so they've just created a new body under the state government because they obviously want to, take control. Bangalore is a city that has a huge budget. The state itself has over 180,000 crores in revenues. Bangalore is responsible for a significant chunk of that. So obviously, there's a big breakdown in actually civic management within the city. No particular entity that I can think of, BWSSB, BBMP, BESCOM, none of them really take any accountability or responsibility for the infrastructure that we have today. And so when Nabila said that, that there was a slab that broke away, it does not surprise me. Bangalore's infrastructure is crumbling. Obviously, the population has grown from, 6 to 8 million to about 12 million now.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I'm also joined by DL Hanumanthaiah, Rajya Sabha member from Congress, and my colleague Vajji, who has been reporting this from the ground zero. I'll go to the Rajya Sabha MP Congress after a minute, but first to Vajji, who is from ground zero. Vajji, what's happening?
Karthikeya, absolute tragedy at Bengaluru. 11 people have lost their life. We are at Vaidehi, where 4 of them have lost their life and a few people have been injured. CM just visited the spot and we've sent those visuals of him coming here, speaking to the families who are distraughted, broken. It was a celebration that was supposed to happen today, but it has turned into a tragedy. We were one of those who caught that particular tragedy when we were passing by gate number 19, and we clearly saw how there were very few people managing the entire crowd, and at one point of time the officer wasn't able to handle the crowd and he was trying to disperse and he was trying to make them come in the queue. That is when a lot of people found that as an opportunity, that there was nobody at the gate and they started barging in towards the gate. That is when all hell broke loose and the police could not control the situation at that place at that particular point of time. Right now also we are seeing some at that point of time the police could not handle that situation, and you saw a lot of people barging inside the gate number 19, and that is the very spot where the tragedy struck is what we've been told. Right now also a ruckus has broken out at the hospital by the locals over there. Let me just try to pan my camera and try to show you what has happened. Okay, what we've been told, some hoodlums had come here and tried to create ruckus in front of the hospital. The police has chased them
Vajji, you
away.
stay with me. You have done a magnificent job. You got that walkthrough when this entire thing took place. You stay with me, Vajjiullah. You stay with me. A quick reaction from Dr. Hanumanthaiah, Rajya Sabha member from the Congress party. Sir, your comments on this mismanagement, sir.
I'm former member of Rajya Sabha.
Sir.
I'm staying in Bengaluru. I have seen Bengaluru yesterday also. There was a huge celebration for the victory of RCB throughout the night, as I have personally seen in many of the parts of the Bengaluru. So the aspirations of the people were so high that they were enjoying and celebrating on their own on the streets, which the government has taken up the aspirations of the people to honor the RCB players. I don't think there is any wrong in government making such an attempt in celebration. I don't think any false intention of the government to take advantage of that, something like that. But the people who have arrived to the celebration function was in huge numbers. So there was the proper arrangement was lacking, I suppose. And just now I saw one information that there was a cabbage just fall down, so people went into panic and there was a stampede like this. So an account of this, we should learn that proper arrangement has to be made for these kind of huge functions which people voluntarily participate. Anything can happen. That tragedy has happened today in Bengaluru. Instead of Bengaluru celebrating such a big victory, which is the worldwide, but Bengaluru is facing a severe tragedy and we are all part of it. We are feeling very sad for it. And there was no better place than Chinnaswamy Stadium for the celebration, according to me. Because even if it is Vidhan Sauda or Chinnaswamy Stadium is more apt, and that is the place where 50,000 people can assemble there to watch the matches many a times, and another 50,000 people would have been outside the stadium also. Many a times I have seen that. So this is an unfortunate incident and there must be an inquiry into this incident, how this happened, what were the lacunas. if there was a serious lacunas, the government has to take a lesson from these kind of things and go further. That's what my feeling is. But I deeply mourn to the families of the bereaved in this great tragedy, and they should be properly compensated. That is what my personal feeling as a Congress party member also. And in this, I feel you should not bring politics into the deaths of people. It is a tragedy. A tragedy should not be politicized by any political party, whether it is BJP or Congress or somebody else. It should not be politicized. We must participate in the mourning of the people who have lost their lives with us. And they are not Congress party people, they are not BJP people. We should not politicize these kind of issues. And any political party taking the deaths of the people to politicize is a sin. I don't agree with it. I expect them to behave in improving the situation in Bengaluru, whether it is government of this party or that party. The people of Bengaluru should live peacefully. When this kind of celebrations come, when huge people coming here for any function, you have seen for Bengaluru matches, cricket matches, there will be lakhs of people surrounding the stadium and inside the stadium also. Okay. There were no tragedies as I have seen. Okay. But today, it is most unfortunate that tragedy has happened. We must learn a lesson from these kind of things.
So let me play out a walkthrough of Wajiullah, who was there at the spot when he caught this entire event, chain of event.
RCB fans are right now at the Chinnaswamy Stadium trying to get inside the bus. You can see this is the mood of the people. All of them are here to celebrate the victory of RCB. Gate number 17 is where we are, and all of them are trying to make sure that they get a chance to go inside and see the IPL trophy. Thousands of them standing over here. Another 1,000 of them standing on the left hand side where I'm showing you my fingers. Every gate is jam-packed. People are trying their best to make sure if they can get inside any of these gates to go inside the Chinnaswamy and witness the RCB team lifting the cup, something that they waited for a very long time. So all of them are sitting here. This is the Chinnaswamy Stadium road which leads to the Vidhana Saudha. You can see the mood over here. This is celebration like never seen before in Bengaluru. So many fans have never gathered like this. This is happening after a very long time. We've seen this kind of a celebration during the Bangalore Football Club victory, and now you are seeing a similar situation, a similar celebrations happening at the Chinnaswamy Stadium also. Police had to do mild lathi charge so that they can move the fans who are behaving unruly. And this is something that you're witnessing here at the Vidhan Saudha. Police is trying their best to control the crowd, and it is not possible to control so many people. A small sort of lathi charge is also taken place. All the police presence is over here. There can be anything that can go wrong in this also. Fans have to understand that they should enjoy this moment than take it into the head. There is a chaos-like situation. The gate was open and people have rushed inside. You can see this. This is a very crazy moment taking place at the Vidhan Saudha. Mad rush going of people rushing inside.
Nabila, gate number 19, that's the information we have. I think if I look at it, this is a tragedy in making. Anyone would have known that, the crowd have swelled. This is not something which you would allow.
Kartikeya, I just heard the former Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress speak, and I completely disagree. Yes, mishaps happen. A tragedy can happen. A lot of times it's unavoidable. But this is something that could have been avoided because we knew very well that there could be overwhelming crowds. In fact, I'm in Delhi. I'm an RCB fan myself. I advised my family, I asked them not to go venture into the stadium or anywhere around the stadium at this point in time because there will be huge crowds. If a common person or if me with a basic understanding of the city as a localite in Bengaluru know very well that there could be crowds that will be unmanageable because our Chinnaswamy Stadium is known to have such crowds outside. Like I said, they just stand around the stadium just to get get one look at the stars, buses going in, buses coming out. That's the craze for the game and for the team RCB, right? So knowing very well, how did they not deploy enough security? Why were there not enough police personnel? Why was there no ambulance in place? Traffic was blocked off and cordoned off between the 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock period, between those hours when the felicitation was to happen for VIP movement. Traffic was blocked off. But why was there not enough protection to ensure that these people, the fans, general public who are coming, they be saved? Because we know that they can turn into hooligans. And that's exactly what happened here. Karthikeya, if you're looking, I'm looking at the list of people who have died. I can tell you there are nearly 7 women and children. Yeah, little girls, young boys, 17-year-old, 23-year-old, a kid as young as 7. Such young, the crowds had a mixed population, a mixed age group. There were kids in the crowds. How did the police not really ensure that they were protected? State security, people's security, citizen security, law and order is a state subject. It's government's responsibility. The police should have anticipated this. They haven't done it. So if they failed, they can't just blame it on fate. This shouldn't have been the fate. We could have really peacefully enjoyed the celebration that RCB won this IPL match 18 long years later without actually having to have seen this tragedy here. This could have been highly avoided. It was not done. It wasn't planned adequately.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let us straight away go to our correspondent Vajiola. Vaji, when you did that walkthrough, I could feel that that there is too much of crowd out there. Was there any advisory? Was there any mobile messaging that don't go near the Chinnaswamy Stadium? There's too much of crowd?
Well, to start off, early in the morning itself, the Home Minister had said that doing an open big rally is not possible because the crowd is too much, it won't be able to handle it. But as in when they saw a lot of people trickling into the city from different parts and the numbers started swelling in, they had no other option because first we had no idea that there would be an open bus rally. Then we also saw the open bus moved out from the Chinnaswamy Stadium, which moved to the Vidhan Saudha. That is when the crowd also started getting an idea that yes, there could be a rally, and more people started coming in to the Chinnaswamy Stadium. At every point, if we could see, if in that particular sequence what we've seen, I am moving from one gate to another gate, and in both these gates there are thousands of people, and the amount of police officers that are present there was less. For the entire, they had deployed only 2,000 police officers. They were at various places, but at that particular spot, if you see carefully, there were 2-3 officers that were handling the crowd. And managing that crowd wasn't easy for anyone because you have thousands of people who are eagerly waiting to go inside, and as soon as they saw an opportunity, they took it and they all barged in, and that is where the tragedy happened. So overall, there was no proper presence of police at various places. Though there were police, they were not in large numbers. 2,000 was the presence of police. It was forewarned by the Home Minister that this would happen. They knew they should have done some arrangements with regards to that. But the swelling number of the crowd also was something they could not manage, because we had seen footage of the bus that came from the airport carrying the players. They were also stopped at every interval because there were fans who were there. The crowd did not allow the bus to move. So at every juncture, the police was unable to handle things because the crowd kept swelling in. People started losing. At one point, I also saw when the police had raised the lathi to chase the crowd, where people held the lathi and started dancing and rejoicing that RCB has won. So all these situations that were happening and it became uncontrollable. It is at the foremost, you can call it a lot of lapses, a lot of mistakes that were done from the police's side. They did not have an idea on how many people would turn up. Even if they had an idea, they did not have the manpower or the manforce to manage that. And that is what we saw, how a celebration turned into a tragedy that was uncalled for.
Absolutely. I am also joined by GS Prashant, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. He continues to be with me. So yes, government has admitted that a mistake has been made, but there is also a larger issue. The infrastructure issue of Bangalore was not made in last 2 years. It has been there for last 30 years, 25 years, sir. Mr. Prashant, can you please unmute yourself?
For the last, if you look at last 30-40 years, Congress has been in power for what, 80% of it? So therefore, let's not get back to that saying 30 years ago what happened, or from 30 years nothing has happened. Now, if you look at the Congress Rajya Sabha MP who spoke, he's trying to blame everybody else except Congress. And he's saying we should put we are not politicizing it. We are saying it is complete lack of civic sense. There is no law and order. There is no proper planning. And you look at the DCM posing with the IPL trophy when people have died outside. It is in his knowledge that people have died. It's not that he's not aware. After the stampede, he does this photo op. What is it? What is the message that Congress is trying to send out? Whom are they trying to shield? What is that they want to send out a message to people? That the photo ops will continue, and you can't blame the fans, you can't blame the players, because they would, I'm sure the players are not aware as to what's happened outside. The players should have believed genuinely that Congress government would have taken adequate precautions and law and order would be taken care of. As a player, he will not be bothered about whether the police is providing security or not, because they would assume that the security is there for everyone who's coming to the stadium to be a part of the celebration. Not bothered about any of these things. Now they are going on the offensive, blaming the fans, blaming the BJP, and now please, for heaven's sake, don't take this issue up. From 30 years, Bengaluru city is having an issue. Whatever issues are there, Congress came to power in the last 2 years, stating that they will repair all that was broken earlier. Therefore, now they cannot say that it was the misgiving of somebody else and they cannot escape responsibility. And there is no point in trying to shield Congress in any which way here. The buck stops with the CM, the DCM and the Home Minister. And even now, if the Home Minister doesn't resign...
Prashant, let me get my colleague Nabila, because Nabila has covered Bengaluru very well. Nabila, where does the buck stop here?
Well, the buck stops with the government taking responsibility, ordering for an inquiry and finding out where was the failure, ensuring security. Adequate security should have been deployed. If it wasn't, where exactly was the lapse? And let me tell you and our viewers very clearly, Karthikeya, that this was not on the day of the match. The match got over yesterday, peacefully ended with all the fans going back home safely. This was a government called for event. An event that was scheduled by the Karnataka Congress government, called the players to felicitate them, organized for this entire event and the shosha, the optics and the picture opportunity, and of course the Congress leaders, as much as you and I would have been excited to meet with the players. Congress really in the state of Karnataka were overwhelmed by the victory. They wanted to meet the players and felicitate them. They wanted to honor this victory that Bangalore had been waiting for 18 long years, Karnataka had been waiting for. So if it was a government organized event where they invited the players, then this was entirely their responsibility to ensure security. It was a separate event. An IPL organization or organizers has nothing to do with it either, because IPL game itself is completely over. This was a government call for event on the next day to felicitate and to take pictures and videograph and the whole media shosha. So then why did the government not take charge and ensure security as well? They know the kind of craze that RCB has. How did they not anticipate this? DK Shivkumar saying we thought only 5,000 people will come, but eventually 45,000 people landed. Their estimation was so wrong. It's hard to believe that none of them thought about it. And since this has happened, 11 people have lost their lives.
What I want to ask from you, Nabila, what I want to ask from you is 5,000 to 45,000, Nabila. I mean to say 5,000 to 10,000, 5 to 15, 5 to 20, 5 to 25. But 45,000 coming up, I mean to say, the city has CCTV cameras, city has the intelligence tools to monitor the movement of people and the vehicular traffic. It's available there. It's done in Delhi, it's done in Mumbai. The crowd management at Kumbh, when lakhs and lakhs of people happen, it's done through the cameras and there's so many other instruments. I mean to say, this was such a high profile event.
How could you get the estimation so totally wrong, right? That's what I'm saying. 5,000 people you've anticipated, 45,000 people showed up. This was something that all of us know that Chinnaswamy Stadium has a capacity of over 1.5 lakhs. So if you are anyway going to allow people inside the stadium, then you should very well know that once the felicitation is over, outside the stadium also there will be that many people. So 45,000 people is easy for Chinnaswamy Stadium to hold. Outside, inside a lot more. So this 5,000 estimation is completely wrong. It's just basically he's shot off his mind without actually having to think deep into this. And now that the tragedy has happened, not just a compensation will work. The people who are responsible in providing inadequate security must be held responsible. Investigation should be following this tragedy here, and there should be exactly those pinpointing who made the mistake of not ensuring police presence, not ensuring ambulance, and the civic body is responsible for leaving that open drain there with a loose slab which broke, that led to chaos and a stampede.
Go across to Vajji, because Vajji was the person on spot. Vajji, tell me, what is your estimate of the crowd that was there? And secondly, Vajji, did you feel when you were reporting the event that the crowd was surging beyond its capacity?
Karthik, I have been seeing this from last night, and trust me, there was not a single road where you could not find people. Every road was jammed. Yesterday it took me 2 hours to come back from the venue, which otherwise takes me half an hour. But it took me 2 hours to come back to my place and get those visuals done. So because that crowd was everywhere. Today morning also, when we started moving out from at around 12 o'clock, we saw thousands of people already on the street marching all the way to Vidhan Sauda. By the time we reached Chinnaswamy Stadium in the initial hours, I could have Aram se said that there were 20 to 30,000 people already at various gates spread out across the Chinnaswamy Stadium, at the MG Road area, at the Cubbon Park Circle, because there was traffic jam, people walking, people in bikes, hooting, shouting, celebrations and all that. And by the time we started coming to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that is where we saw a massive amount of crowd at Vidhan Sauda, massive amount of crowd at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, and we could have aram se touched anywhere more than 1 lakh people on the ground itself, while Chinnaswamy otherwise has the capacity of just 40,000 people, and the police had made arrangements for 30 to 35,000 people to enter inside, and there were already lakhs of people outside the gates itself, and nobody was handling them. So the crowd started swelling in from last night itself. People from different districts, people from various places started walking in. I spoke to a lot of them who said they came from Chikballapur, which is 100 kilometers. They came from Hubli. They came riding from Tumkur whole night to be present at this venue. So you had people already coming in. If they would have taken 2 more days and announced that we are doing celebration on this day, we would have expected even more people, because then they would have got the time and date and everything on when they have to come and what time they have to come. But this was done all of a sudden with the lack of proper police presence. But if you ask about the crowd, it kept swelling in minute by minute. We saw people coming in from every road had people there. It was jam-packed. There was no place to walk in. And while I was reporting that, all of a sudden when we at that gate number 19, we saw Lathi charge, and there also I am saying that we can expect some sort of stampede also over here, because the crowd is so much. People are losing their sense. People are not able to figure out where they have to stand, where they shouldn't stand. So it was a chaotic situation, Karthikeya, at the end of it. There was no proper management, and that is what caused these tragedies.
Okay, and Vajji, to the specific context of the drain, can you just take us through that information that is coming, that the slab on the drain collapsed?
I can't hear you.
You know, the slab on the, okay, I don't think I'm able to go across to Vajji. Nabila, now a lot of things have happened. Do you think that the politics is going to take better of the important issue, which is infrastructure management? Nabila?
Right. You know, Karthikeya, Congress is facing a lot of heat over the last few weeks as floods have really exposed yet again Bengaluru's poor infrastructure. It was the same DK Shivkumar who went cracking around the IT sector, saying any building constructed over stormwater drains will be punished. Their bulldozers will roll over their buildings. They will have to face a fine. So the government is now taking a hard stance in ensuring that they fix the infrastructure. But while in the midst of it, they've clearly lost sight. because you know that the city is it's a town. Bengaluru is, I would say, it's a town that has just been forced into a city. The population is just doubled, tripled in the last 2 decades. There's hardly any space, and I did cross check. In fact, Chinnaswamy Stadium has a seating capacity of 40,000 people. So 40,000 people inside, the stadium is packed. And then you have an additional thousands, I'm not too sure of the exact number. We hear that there were 45,000 people outside the stadium. So there itself you're inching in closer to 1 lakh. Where is 5,000 people that you estimated, and where is 45,000 people outside the stadium? Inside there were still many more. So there itself the number and estimation, the judgment was completely wrong for a government who has governed Karnataka for most part of Karnataka's tenure as a state itself. They have been a party that has governed Karnataka multiple times, more number of times than the BJP. But nonetheless, when you speak of where the buck stops, I would say consecutive governments have failed to ensure civic governance in the city of Bengaluru. Civic governance is extremely poor. BBMP has received a lot of flack, which is why the Congress government has now come around to establish the Bengaluru governance bill.
Nabila, you stay with me. Let me just read the tweet of the CM of Karnataka. It is with great shock we heard the news that several people lost their lives and others were seriously injured in a stampede during RCB's team's victory celebrations at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. The pain of the tragedy has even erased the joy of victory. May the souls of the deceased rest in peace, and may those injured and those undergoing treatment in the hospital recover as soon as possible. My condolences to the bereaved families who have lost their loved ones. The team was not allowed to march in the victory parade in anticipation of an unpleasant incident that could occur due to such a stampede and the crowd becoming uncontrollable. However, the accident occurred due to a stampede that occurred due to the crowd of people gathered near the stadium. I appeal to the public to understand that life is more important than love and affection, and to give safety first priority. So, Siddaramaiah has, made that statement. Sandeep Aniruddhan also continues to be with me. Sir, all these statements are now coming. I hope this tragic event serves as a reminder to people that when you organize such events, a lot of hard work needs to be done before. Sandeep.
Karthik, crowd control apparently was missing. It's as if they didn't even plan. And as Nabila rightly said, an event like this, cricket is religion in India. Fans are crazy. A win like this after 18 years, they should have expected lakhs of fans to show up. That should have been the planning. This is ridiculous. And whoever is in charge of this mishap needs to be pulled up for this overlook. And you also rightly said, the political parties like to dismiss the present state of civic apathy in Bengaluru is largely because for the last 30 years, there has been no planning and there has been no governance.
I'll just stop you. I think Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, has started to speak. We will be cutting across to it. Siddaramaiah, the press conference is happening. Siddaramaiah is addressing the people of Karnataka. Will be cutting to that press conference very quickly. It's very, very important. And our reporters, Nabila, Sandeep Aniruddhan continues to be with me. Let me just tell you that these visuals are deeply shocking. It's a tragedy that has taken place in Bengaluru. I think politics can take place later, but people have died, people have been injured. It should serve as a reminder that when events like these take place, there should be better management. Responsibility also lies with a lot of people. We are straight away cutting across to Siddaramaiah.
DGP ikkade banni nan pakka ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಧ್ಯರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಟಾಟಾ IPL ಮ್ಯಾಚು ಫೈನಲ್ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಹಮದಾಬಾದ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ವಿಜಯೋತ್ಸವ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು. ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಏರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಜಯೋತ್ಸವ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದುರಂತ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ಜನ ಕಾಲ್ತುಳಿತಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಿ ಹನ್ನೊಂದು ಜನರು ಮೃತಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೂವತ್ಮೂರು ಜನರು ನೋವಿಗೆ ಒಳಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಜೂರ್ಡ್ 33 ಜನ.
33 people have been injured and are receiving treatment.
ನಾನು ಬೌರಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ, ವೈದೇಹಿ ಮಲ್ಯ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ.
They are currently receiving treatment at Vaidehi and Lady Cousin and Vaidehi Malya Hospital.
ಈ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ದುರಂತ ನಡಿಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು.
It's unfortunate that this tragedy has happened in the midst of celebration.
ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಹಳ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ.
The government is very pained with what has happened.
ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೂ ಮೀರಿ ಜನ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳು ಸೇರಿದರು.
People who were fans of RCB had all gathered.
ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಸುಮಾರು 1 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ಸೇರಿದ್ರು.
More than 1 lakh people had gathered.
ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದ ಮುಂದೆ ನಡೆದಂಥ ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ.
When the event felicitation happened in front of Vidhan Saudha, the situation was calm. There was no tragedy.
ಆದರೆ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದುರಂತ ಆಗಿದೆ.
But when the event reached Chinnaswamy Stadium, the situation went out of control. Nobody anticipated this.
ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
Even the Cricket Association did not anticipate it. Neither did we anticipate this crowd.
ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ 35,000 ಜನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಸನ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು.
The cricket stadium has about 35,000 people who can fit in the stadium. Seating arrangements for nearly 35,000 people
cricket stadium
inside Chinnaswamy.
35 ಆಸನಗಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಅದು. ಆದರೆ 2-3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
But nearly 2-3 lakh people turned up.
2-3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
2-3
ಮತ್ತೆ
lakh
ನಿನ್ನೆ
people
ಮ್ಯಾಚ್
turned up.
ನಡೆದಿರೋದು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ
Capacity
ನಮಗೆ
inside
ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ
Chinnaswamy was only 34,000.
ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
Nobody anticipated this.
ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
That these many people would show up. We never imagined.
ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇತ್ತು.
We thought those stadium capacity numbers of people who can fit in the stadium, that's like approximately how much would actually arrive, maybe a little more.
ನಾನು ಸತ್ತ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ವಾರಸುದಾರರಿಗೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿರೋರು ಯುವಕರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಯುವಕರೇ, ಯುವ ಜನಾಂಗದವ್ರೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
There are girls, boys who have died.
ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Both girls and
ಅವರ
boys.
ಕುಟುಂಬದ ವಾರಸುದಾರರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಹಾರವಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸುಮಾರು 11 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 11 ಜನರಿಗೂ 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನು
10 lakh compensation will be given to the families of deceased.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಗಾಯಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸೂಚನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Those injured will get all help. I've
ಖಾಸಗಿ
already
ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು
ensured people at hospitals, doctors at hospitals should be treating them.
ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ
They will get
ಖರ್ಚನ್ನು
all
ಸರ್ಕಾರ
financial help.
ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬೌರಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಉಚಿತವಾದಂಥ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
All injured will get free treatment at government hospitals like Bowring.
33 ಜನ, ನನಗಿರೋ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 33 ಜನ.
As per our data, 33 people have been injured and are currently receiving treatment.
33 ಜನರು ಕೂಡ ಅದೃಷ್ಟವಶಾತ್
47 injured.
47 ಕೆಲವರು ಔಟ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ 47 ಜನ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ನನಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಂಜರ್.
All of them that I've spoken to who have been injured are all out of danger.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಊಟದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ಕಾರನೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತದೆ.
All other facilities for transport, food, all of it has been handled by the government. The government is ensuring all those receiving treatment will get adequate help.
ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತ ದುರಂತ. ಯಾರು ಈ ಕಾಲ್ತುಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಿಗಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ.
We pray that those deceased rest in peace. Our government gives condolences to the families.
ಕೆಲವರು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Many students who have died among them.
ಸೊ ವಾರಸುದಾರರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಪೋಷಕರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಸಾವಿನ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಭರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ
we pray that your families have all the strength to face this tragedy.
ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
We have also now ordered a magisterial enquiry.
ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧಿಕಾರಿಯಿಂದ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪಿತಸ್ಥರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೋತೀವಿ.
The Zilladhikaris will investigate now. A magisterial inquiry has
ನಾನು
been
ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ
ordered.
ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾದಂತ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ. ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ
Again,
ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
I say we never anticipated this kind of crowd. Neither the government nor the cricket association anticipated this large crowd.
ಭದ್ರತಾ ವೈಫಲ್ಯ ಅಂತ ತಮಗೇನು ಅನ್ಸಬಹುದು? ಘಟನೆಗೆ ಭದ್ರತಾ ವೈಫಲ್ಯ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ.
ಏನ್ ಭದ್ರತೆ ವೈಫಲ್ಯ? ನೀನು ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದವ್ರ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
Please don't talk like a BJP spokesperson.
ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಚಿಟ್ಟು
ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆದಂತೆ
ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಜನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಪ್ಪ. ನೀನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕತೆ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು.
People came unexpected.
Congress government here is,
and it was much above the numbers anticipated.
today is what the union ministers are also tweeting, sir.
No. I do not want to play politics here in this case. BJP people are playing politics. I do not want to play politics. That is why ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತವಾದಂಥ ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾರು
We are going to carry out a magisterial enquiry. Whoever is at fault for lapses,
ಅವೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
whoever is at fault for the lapses will be pulled up.
Because it's a national issue.
ಪೂರ್ವ ತಯಾರಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಯಿತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದುರಂತ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆರೋಪ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಆರೋಪ ಕೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ.
What was the urgency?
I do not want to defend the incident, the tragedy so happened. I do not want to defend. I do not want to play politics in this. Our government is not going to play politics with it. See, let us see the outcome of the magisterial report. I will give 15 days time.
Sir, is there preliminary information what exactly happened during the stampede? So what created the chaos? Which gate
See, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು.
60.
There are very small gates. I think, I hope that you have visited the cricket
15 days time for inquiry report to be tabled.
The people entered through the gates.
Yeah.
They have broken the gates.
I've already
They have
said that on the
broken the
group.
gates also.
Yeah.
So stampede has taken place. Nobody has expected. so much of crowd will come because the capacity of the stadium is only 35,000 people. Only 35,000 seats are there. But 2 to 3 lakh people have come to participate in the celebration. So that is why, see, ಮೇಲ್ನೋಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೇಮ ಪೇಶಿ ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ದಟ್ ನಾನು ಖಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಏನು ನಡೆದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆರ್ಡರ್ಡ್ magisterial inquiry and I given 15 days time.
Rahul Gandhi has tweeted. Your leader Rahul Gandhi has just tweeted, sir. Every safety protocol for public event must be reviewed by the government and strictly enforced. ಅಂತ ಟ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸರ್ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ just now, sir.
ನಾನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ರಿ, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ತಾಳಪ್ಪ.
ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಿಟಿ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಯಾರು?
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಿಟಿ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಅವರು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಡಿ ಸಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಹಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮೈಸೂರು ಡಿ ಸಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಡಿ ಸಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ ಹಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ? ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಪ್ಪ ನಿನಗೆ? ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತಪ್ಪ? ಹಿರಿಯ ಯಾವ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ. ಸಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಮಗೇನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅರಮನೆ ಅಂತ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾರು ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖಾಂತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹೋಗೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಕಲ್ಲು ಓಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ, ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕೂರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಯಾರು? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೋ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೇನ್ ನಡೀತು? ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನೂ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನನಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ, ನನಗಿರೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನೂ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಈ ತರದವು ಅನೇಕ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್ಗಳು ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ನಾನು ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥವು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಈಗ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನ? ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಂದು 50-60 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್. ಯಾರು ಯಾರು? ನಾನು ಟೀಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ? ನಾನ್ ಟೀಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನೇನ್ರಿ? ನಾನ್ ಟೀಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ? ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದವರು? ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ನಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ. ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ? ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನೇನ್ರಿ? ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇದೆ. ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತೇ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ? ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ನೆಸ್
ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನಾವು ಕರೆದಿಲ್ರಿ, ನಾವು ಕರೆದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಕೇಳ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸುಮ್ನೆ ನೀವೇ ನಿಮ್ನೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದ್ರ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ? ಹಿಂಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಹಂಗೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು. ನಾವು ಕರೆದಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕರೆದಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದವು. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ನಡೆದಿರೋದು, ಇವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ನೀವು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಬರೀತಿದ್ರಿ? ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರಿ. ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಈ ದುರಂತ ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ ಇದೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀನು ಎಷ್ಟಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ಕೇಳ ನೀನು ಏನು ನೀ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ. ಈ ದುರಂತ ನಡಿಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ನಡೆದೋಗಿದೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಈ ದುರಂತಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮರುಗ್ತೀವಿ, ದುಃಖಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಒದಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಭದ್ರತೆಯನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. more police people, the entire police people available in Mysore city, they are deployed.
Bengaluru city. Bengaluru city. Bengaluru city.
Bengaluru city police have been deployed. See, earlier also the same police people were doing the security job
During the matches.
This time also they were doing this security job. See, of course, it should not have been happened. This tragedy should not have been happened. We are with the sufferers, victims.
ಸರ್, ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಕೂಡ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿದೆ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಬಾರಿ 1.5 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕೂಡ 1.5 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಏನೋ ಸ್ಥಳಾಂತರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಸರ್?
ಯಾವುದನ್ನ?
ಪ್ರತಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿದೆ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು.
ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಸರ್ಕಾರದ್ದು ಭದ್ರತೆ ಒದಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕೆಲಸ. ಮೇಲೆ ಉಳಿದಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ನಾವು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಭದ್ರತೆಯನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಜನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪಾಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ಬಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಪ್ಪ? ಫ್ರೀ ಪಾಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟಿಕೆಟ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೀಟ್ಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಪಾಸ್ಗಳು ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ಗಳು ಕೊಡೋದು.
Hello and welcome. You are watching In Your Interest, and the big story coming from Bengaluru, and the very first reaction there that you heard from Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, where he seems to be insinuating that what has happened was basically because a large number of people turned up. It was completely unanticipated. Adequate measures had been taken by the police. There was sufficient deployment done, but in his words, 2 to 3 lakh people turned up. This is simply something that cannot be controlled. We did not anticipate 2 to 3 lakh people to turn up. Also importantly, he has said that it is the Cricket Association that arranged the stadium program. Nothing happened in front of the Vidhan Saudha. Many stampedes have occurred in the past. I'm not defending myself. I am saying that stampede also took place in the Kumbh Mela. So the Chief Minister there getting into a bit of an altercation also with the assembled journalists over there, saying, why are you speaking like a member of the BJP, like a spokesperson of the BJP? But the thing is that accountability and questions will definitely be asked and sought in the present case. Yes, it's a fact that a stampede did take place at the Kumbh Mela, but the fact also is that over 6 crore people assembled there. Here, prior intimation had been given. Was enough deployment not done? Why was there an anticipation of only a limited crowd when so many people had already turned up yesterday itself? Even yesterday, mild lathi charge had to be conducted. Today, outside the stadium, a mild lathi charge was conducted. Did the assembled leaders have no idea what's going on outside? And the most tragic picture of all, and we'll put that picture, let's put that multi-window on here, even as the stampede was taking place outside, the celebrations continued inside. What possible excuse is there for that kind of apathy? Joining us on In Your Interest, Vijay Prashad, spokesperson of the BJP, Vivek Menon, former advisor to the CM of Karnataka, Dr. Basavaraj Itnal, senior journalist, and advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst. Mr. Menon, I want to start by asking you, these pictures make simply no sense. How is it that a good half an hour, 1 hour after the stampede had taken place, the celebrations, the felicitations inside Chinnaswamy Stadium continued? Mr. Menon.
So, I mean, this is obviously a tragedy that is something that should never have occurred. I don't think the police forces as well as the administration was prepared for this. But at the same time, considering the fact that we have waited for 18 years and what we saw last evening in terms of the celebrations, they should have been a lot more prepared. In fact, the entire parade was supposed to actually happen all the way from the HAL airport all the way up to Vidhan Sauda, which is almost a good 7 to 8 kilometers. So instead of having these celebrations at one particular location, the Chinnaswamy Stadium, which only has a capacity of about 40 to 45,000 people, they should have anticipated this and had this celebration across the entire length of the parade route. Now, that being said, it's extremely tragic that these celebrations continued, even despite the fact that there was the stampede and there was a loss of life on the outside. It's also very unfortunate that the CM has chosen to pass the buck instead of probably taking some amount of accountability for it, responsibility for it, and of course he has ordered a magisterial inquiry. But that's a post-mortem, which happens.
Shocking. And I just want to pause you for a second, Mr. Menon, because these are the fresh images that we are getting, I presume, from outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, and you just see all the footwear littered there. And I have to say that around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, you could constantly see the visuals coming in of people who are clambering over walls, of people who are hanging onto tree branches, of people who are trying to, crush themselves against the gate of the Chinnaswamy Stadium, the police carrying out a lathi charge. It was almost as if you could see the frenzy building up. How did no one? This wasn't a spur of the moment thing. You literally could see the build up of the frenzy, Nikhil Jain, and that is what we are talking about. Celebrations inside, and outside you could see almost a volcano that is waiting to erupt. People constantly pouring in, the police completely out of sorts. All right, so this is from close to gate number 7, those images that you just saw of people who presumably had run away, who were carried away injured in that melee, in that crush of people, had no other option but to somehow, and according to initial reports, and this is again some people who were rescued, who were injured. These are some accounts that are just filtering in. The Chief Minister was asked about the time that the stampede took place. He was asked about the exact reason. He said, within 15 days, we are going to submit a report of a magisterial inquiry and we should wait for the causes until then. But some of the accounts that we have managed to gather so far, it seems that there was a storm water drain, and the cover of that drain gave way. People who were standing on top of it, obviously it's not used to carrying that kind of load. When the cover of that drain gave way, or let's listen to that person, please.
चिन्नस्वामी स्टेडियम को हमारा फ्रेंड इधर चप्पल छोड़ के अंदर चले गया, आने के देखना चप्पल छोड़ के चले गया, इधर कार पूरा डैमेज हो गया, चप्पल चले जाए तो क्या करेंगे बोलो, और क्या बोलना भाई.
This man basically describing what happened at that moment, and it's true. Even the cars which were parked over there, several of them were damaged because people jumped onto the roofs of the cars. They were left damaged, and despite all this, not a clue. Nikhil Jain, How can you simply pass the buck saying, oh, you know, we were anticipating about 3,000 people, 3 lakh turned up?
No, Padmaja, I don't think the Chief Minister is trying to pass the buck here. From what I could hear of your translation in the packet that you played, the Chief Minister is clearly saying, yes, a mistake has been done, accountability has to be fixed, the magisterial inquiry would be set up, a report would be given in 15 days. And of course, you do not expect any political leader to not give a justification when his government has failed. I'm being very honest and simple on your show that this is a failure of the government and the government needs to look into it. Whoever is responsible for it, whether it's an SDM, whether it's the Chief Minister himself, they should be taken to task. And that is what the government is trying to do. But the BJP leaders to, try to jump into it and politicize it within minutes, that shows the kind of callous and vulture-like nature of the BJP, that you will not let people celebrate, you will not let people suffer their pain or, recover from something like this, but you would start playing politics.
Yeah, just
and like the Chief Minister pointed out, you did have a stampede in Mahakumbh as well, and questions were raised, as they should have been. The government was put to dogs, but the difference at that time was that the entire BJP
vulture kind of mode.
Including a lot of people in the media.
Right. So when you ask questions, it is about accountability. When others ask questions, they are vultures. Because the question over here also is that the celebrations continue. Nikhil Jain.
No. Padmaja, I'm saying that the BJP, what they're trying to do, BJP leader trying to visit the hospital, the BJP state president trying to visit the hospital. That is like acting
Vijay Prashad. So you shouldn't be visiting the hospital, Mr. Vijay Prashad. Why did Vijay
But he should ask the government questions.
No. See, Padmaja, see, cricket is a religion in India. Everyone knows it. And even CM, Siddaramaiah, DCM, they have personally visited the KCA Stadium and have witnessed the matches there earlier. Okay, they have taken up time off and they know the kind of crowd that get into the stadium. Celebration after 18 years has turned into a funeral home for DCM's cheap publicity. See, this is what I say. DCM's cheap publicity for failed brand Bengaluru. This CM, DCM, Home Minister have claimed 11 lives. This is the inept and inefficient administration. Inefficient administration, no preparedness for the crowd control, no ambulance, no fire brigade, two programs within a distance of 1 kilometer, the Vidhan Sauda and stadium. And people and even the police, they are not in the position to understand what is the anticipation of the crowd.
But Mr. Vijay Prashad, here's what the Chief Minister has said. I'm going to read out his tweet. He is saying, deeply shocked by the tragic loss of lives at the Stampede, precautionary measures were taken by not allowing a victory parade. You remember earlier that a victory parade was supposed to go right through the streets of the city. He says, we stopped that victory parade, but the crowd surge near the stadium led to this tragedy. I urge everyone to prioritize safety. So we took precautions, he's saying.
No. See, that means, when you are having celebrations within a span of 1 kilometer, within a distance of 1 kilometer, that means the government's intelligence failed. They did not anticipate. And you know how the Bangalore reacts as far as the cricket is concerned. When you don't anticipate the crowd, and I will show you this one. There are two different photos. One MLA daughter, not even an MLA, Soumya Reddy. She is on the dais in front of the Vidhan Sauda, and there is one more photo. BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan's son standing behind DCM Shivkumar. This has become a family event instead of a public event. How did they come there? See, that this shows the inefficiency, the callous attitude of the government. And see, and one more glaring thing is,
Prashad, if you're saying that the government has to, the buck stops with the government, they are saying that when your government was there, Mr. Prashad, they're saying when your government was there in Uttar Pradesh, in the Kumbh tragedy, you also said we did the best that we could, but the crowd surged.
Padmaja, at this point of time, I don't want to compare this tragedy with the other one. Tragedy is a tragedy, but this inefficiency we are talking about, we are trying to question that.
Okay.
As far as the Uttar Pradesh is concerned, we had expected certain untoward happened there because we expected that we had all the preparations, but still the tragedy happened in Uttar Pradesh. We accept that. Okay.
You know,
Here,
what is
happened?
particularly
There was no
heartrending in this
preparation at all.
case, and
There was no
that's
preparation at all. This is
that's
the case.
something the
And
Chief Minister has
shameless
also
Nikhil
acknowledged,
Jain, he
is
goes
that
on to blame BJP that we are being vultures. No, we are not vultures. Okay. We are a political party. We have our responsibility, and we are the representative of the people, and we know what to do. And
okay,
we
just
are
hold on, Mr.
asking the
Prashad,
government
because
to
you
be
know
more-
what is particularly tragic in this case, and the Chief Minister also acknowledged it, is that most of the dead, the 11 people so far who have lost their lives, most of them are extremely young men and women,
Yes,
because these
yes.
were the cricket fans who were there. Some of them in college, some of them in school. They had just turned up to see their cricket their cricket idols, you know, their sporting idols, and they ended up losing their lives. I want to play again what the Chief Minister said when he spoke of what was the expectation, what were the precautions, and how many people actually turned up. Listen.
I do not want to defend the incident, the tragedy so happened. I do not want to defend, I do not want to play politics in this. Our government is not going to play politics in this. There are very small gates. I hope that you have visited the cricket stadium. There are small gates. The people entered through the gates.
You have broken the gates.
They have broken the gates also. So stampede has taken place. Nobody has expected so much of crowd will come because the capacity of the stadium is only 35,000 people. Only 35,000 seats are there.
That makes one wonder. Here the Chief Minister is acknowledging they broke the gates. There was a crowd surging there. Should reinforcements have been called? Should the entire function inside have been called off when you already knew what was happening outside?
And here,
when Mr. Etnal.
See, Padma, you understand the Chinnaswamy Stadium and its surroundings. First of all, we need to understand that. It is one of the high security zones of the city. There is close by a stone's throw away, there is police commissioner's office. Under stone's away, there is DGP's office. Under stone's away, there is traffic control center. And it is always under high surveillance. There are cameras every nook and corner. And this is not, like you said, this is not a flash mob. The people were trickling, people were collecting since morning. Why? Because you had announced a victory march from Vidhan Sabha to stadium. It's almost a kilometer's stretch. So people were, they were expecting to see their stars on the march. And you cancel that and you shift the event to only inside the stadium. And then you say only pass holders are allowed. Then the crowd is expected to get frustrated. The emotions are running high since last night. People are very sentimental. They are celebrating. They are extremely excited about this whole event. And no camera caught the surge of crowd. No police officer saw the crowd growing up. No, you could not, reinforce the police because close by there is Karnataka Armed Reserve is there near Koramangala. How far it is from MG Road? So all these things are the policing failures. CM saying that no, it is not my job. In front of Vidhan Sabha, nothing has happened. Only in the stadium it has happened. It is a cricket association job. Cricket association is not a police department. It is government's job to provide security to create a cricket association also. And they must have asked for it. And eventually now you are saying that you are comparing to Kumbh Mela and all. Fine, correct. Stampedes have happened in Mecca also. Stampedes have happened on many places. We know, but when stampedes happen, we obviously question people who are supposed to provide security. We definitely ask the question.
It's a policing failure, Nikhil Jain. And before you answer that, I think Mr. Vijay Prashad is also showing a picture. Mr. Prashad.
Yeah. See, when this event happened to be a government and a public event, the government brings in the family of the ministers. Here, Ramalinga Reddy's daughter, Soumya Reddy, who is not even an MLA, she is on the stage in front of the Vidhan Sabha. Okay, that is one thing. Behind the DCM, inside the stadium, BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan's son, he is also there. Has this become a PR activity or a family event? Don't you know? Is this government not so sensitive enough? This government has become so insensitive. In the last 2 weeks, Bengaluru is in for the wrong reasons, for the wrong news. Last week, Bengaluru flooded. The name was tarnished beyond recognition. Okay, it was tarnished. Today, because of this inefficiency of the government, it has been permanently tarnished because of this stampede, the deaths. Now this has gone international. I was watching one of the international news. It has even gone there. CNN. I was watching international news. That is also gone there. This is the kind of government. Is it so insensitive?
Mr. Menon wants to respond.
Let's stick to the Let's stick to the point over here. I think he's trying to politicize this whole thing.
Anil Menon, Vivek, I am not trying to politicize this. We are questioning the government. We are questioning the government's inefficiency. Why did the
BJP has been equally inefficient at various times.
The intelligence has failed. The Home Minister, where was the Home Minister? Where was the DCM? Where was the CM?
Congress or the BJP. This is a celebration for the people, for the RCB fans. So I don't want the BJP spokesperson trying to hijack this whole event and make it a politicized event. I think the bottom line here is,
we are not politicizing. You stop saying that. We are not politicizing. We are questioning the government. We are questioning the inefficiency of the government. We are questioning the inefficiency.
Gentlemen, I'll have to pause you for a second. Because I think we need to cut straight across to Vaidehi Hospital, which is where most of the injured people have been taken. At least 4 deaths. My colleague Vajiullah joins us from outside the hospital. What's the latest that you have from there, Vajiullah?
Well, yes, 4 people have been brought here. The opposition leader, Arya, has gone inside. He just came out and he briefed the media over here and informed about the tragedy. We had the Chief Minister also over here a few minutes back. He just did a press conference where he said that 10 lakh rupees of the people who have died in this particular tragedy, and he's also announced that all the medical arrangements will be done for the people who are injured. But what is the tragic is the entire incident altogether. Lakhs of people who had gathered here, they were not controlled properly. Situation went out of hand, and a celebration has turned into a tragedy, and that is something that is what has hurt a lot of people. We already have the opposition leaders who are present over here, as you can see.
Vajiullah, tell me this, because you are there on the ground and you will have the clearest idea beyond what the politicians are saying, beyond what is filtering in. What happened and at what time? What have your sources, eyewitnesses that you've been speaking to, piece it together for us, whatever little that you've been able to gather so far?
Well, in one of our sequences that we had sent in the morning, we had seen how a huge crowd of people had gathered across these gates that have been designated for the entry at Chinnaswamy Stadium. Every gate had more than 10,000 people present over there, and it was chaotic for the police to handle, because there were just a few handful of people at these spots, because a total 2,000 people were arranged. And the government in the morning itself had said that handling a crowd like this would be impossible. But overnight, you saw thousands and lakhs of people trickling in. If they would have told them that they would take 2 more days and done the celebration, then you could have expected even more crowd, because then they would have an idea that a situation like this is going to happen. It would have become more chaotic. But what we saw on the ground is at gate number 19, at one particular point of time, the cops were chasing those hooligans who had broken the line and started coming in front. That is when one of the cops moved from his spot to clear that place. The entire crowd just ran inside gate number 19, and that is when the chaos erupted. There was nobody to control it, and there were thousands of people who were just barging inside the case. And the first tragedy happened at that particular gate itself, and it was all caught while we were passing there, doing our own walkthrough. At that particular point of time, we could clearly see the crowd barging in, because there was no cop, and in my footage you can only see one cop at the ground at that point of time, because he was covered by so many people over there. So,
tell me this, Vajiullah, tell me this, when the stampede started, when the crowd started swelling, were additional reinforcements called in? Did you see the number of policemen go up?
About the crowd started swelling in from last night itself. Last night itself, the entire city was jam-packed. There was no place to move. Every circle had thousands of people already on the ground. So people started trickling in from last night itself. And by afternoon, when we had reached the spot, we already had, I think, 60,000 people outside. Gates were being opened slowly for at least 30,000 people to enter the Chinnaswamy Stadium, because Chinnaswamy Stadium is not a huge stadium where you have a capacity of 1 lakh people. It's just 40,000 people who can enter there. An arrangement was done for 30,000 people, but because the crowd was so much that it went out of the hand for anybody to handle it. And what we saw is an entire celebration turning into a tragedy just in minutes, and that is something that I don't think anybody will be able to forget, and especially those RCBs who had come for celebration are returning back in tragedy today.
Just stay with me, Vajula. I'll come back to you in a second. And Mr. Menon, that is what is being pointed out. Yesterday evening, I remember all the reporters who were there on the streets kept saying it's a crazy crowd. It's a crazy crush of people. Today, since today morning, everyone has been reporting the crowds are swelling. Vajula just said at one point there were 30,000-40,000 people already. Mr. Siddaramaiah now is saying in the evening, we expected 3,000. At noon, there were already 30,000 people. What didn't you know?
So Padmaja, the thing is, they could have very well postponed this entire celebration by at least 2 to 3 days to get prepared for this, for the kind of crowd swell that we have seen. At the end of the day, the celebration started last night at 11 o'clock and went on till early morning. So the police force has also been quite stressed with this entire, celebration, this frenzy that we have seen. So, postponing it by 2 days, which is something that the government and the police could have very easily taken a call on. If they had told BCCI that we'll have this on Saturday or Sunday, it would have been well and good. But unfortunately, they chose to have it the very next day. And I think the police force was stretched. In fact, Mr. Bhaskar Rao, who had come on earlier, did say that the police force was stretched to the limit. And, there is going to be a certain level of stress that builds up. The crowds are going to swell. This was something that they should have anticipated. So I think all in all, it's been a failure for sure on the part of the administration as well as the competent entities. But politicizing this, right now, especially where the BJP is taking pot shots, talking about, a whole bunch of irrelevant things, I think that's just not called for.
Okay, Mr. Prashad, before you respond, I just want to know for the benefit of our viewers, Mr. Itnal, what is the demarcation? Because the Chief Minister seemed to suggest not really our failing entirely. The Cricket Association was the one which organized this. So whose responsibility is it?
I don't know in which world the same is living. How come security is responsible of KSCA? KSCA is a sporting body. Providing security is the state's responsibility. It's a police responsibility. It's a policing job. So now, again I am telling, it is not a flash mob. Since last night, many people have not mentioned this. Last night also there was some stabbing incident. There's some sporadic stabbing incidents happened in the night during the course of celebrations. Now the crowd is building right from the morning, right from last night. So by no stretch of imagination, it is a flash mob or something unexpected. Point is, both the police and the administration have taken the crowd for granted. I don't know about. And like Mr. Vivek was telling about this being deferred by a day or two, yes, it's a good advice.
I think you've nailed it. How can you take people for granted, taking people's lives for granted? But is this the time for politics, Mr. Prashad?
Absolutely.
That's what everyone's taking umbrage to.
No. See, we are not politicizing, Padmaja. We are questioning the government. The Home Minister, Parameshwara, has
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think Vajula is with the doctor right now outside the hospital. Over to you, Vajula.
Leader with the BJP, sir, what do you think about the tragedy that happened to this group responsibility?
There is no precautionary measures to this. So they wanted to take a credit of this win. Government, actually, they are not the sponsors and they have not done anything to this win, but still they wanted to take the credit. So without any measure, precautionary, and they have called them to facility. Okay. Let it do that. See, this is not the first time the teams are winning the game, cricket game. Many have won. But why this is happening in Bangalore? Because it is your failure. Chief Minister has to own this failure, and you should take the failure and his credit, and you should decide.
But they did not expect so many people to turn up.
See, here is the practice to this government. Ningu free, Nanugu free, come, free. You call people like that.
But people came there because they were happy RCB won.
If you call no, people will come. But you have to take the measures to control them.
All right, so the BJP there visiting the victims in hospital, demanding accountability and the fact that the Chief Minister should take responsibility and not pass the buck. Thank you, Ajul. I'm completely out of time. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me. But the most tragic part of this entire incident is that the lives lost extremely young, people who were just happy, who were there to celebrate. Their lives were ebbing away and the celebrations, unfortunately, continued inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Sheer madness. Thanks for watching.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಧ್ಯರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಟಾಟಾ IPL ಮ್ಯಾಚು ಫೈನಲ್ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಹಮದಾಬಾದ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ವಿಜಯೋತ್ಸವ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು. ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಏರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಜಯೋತ್ಸವ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕ್ರೀಡಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದುರಂತ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ಜನ ಕಾಲು ತುಳಿತಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಿ ಹನ್ನೊಂದು ಜನರು ಮೃತಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೂವತ್ಮೂರು ಜನರು ನೋವಿಗೆ ಒಳಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಜೂರ್ಡ್ 33 ಜನ. ನಾನು ಬೌರಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ, ವೈದೇಹಿ ಮಲ್ಯ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಆಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ದುರಂತ ನಡಿಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಹಳ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೂ ಮೀರಿ ಜನ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳು ಸೇರಿದರು. ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಸುಮಾರು 1 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ಸೇರಿದ್ರು. ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದ ಮುಂದೆ ನಡೆದಂಥ ಸಮಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅನಿರೀಕ್ಷಿತ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ, ದುರಂತ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದುರಂತ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರಣ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ 35,000 ಜನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಸನ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ, ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ 35 ಆಸನಗಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಅದು. ಆದರೆ 2-3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ನಡೆದಿರೋದು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅವರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಸತ್ತ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ವಾರಸುದಾರರಿಗೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿರೋರು ಯುವಕರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಯುವಕರೇ, ಯುವ ಜನಾಂಗದವ್ರೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ವಾರಸುದಾರರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಹಾರವಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸುಮಾರು 11 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 11 ಜನರಿಗೂ 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಹಾರವಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಗಾಯಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸೂಚನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಖಾಸಗಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಖರ್ಚನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರನೇ ಭರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬೌರಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಉಚಿತವಾದಂಥ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಾಯಾಳುಗಳಿಗೆ 33 ಜನ, ನನಗೀಗ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 33 ಜನ, 11 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.